This conference will now be recorded.
Tonight, welcome to Targeted Massachusetts Northeast Conference. My name is Frank Allen, and I will be your host this evening. The views and opinions expressed on our show are not necessarily the views or opinions of myself, Targeted Massachusetts, or Stars International. And thank you. Okay, we have a very good guest tonight. That's Miranda Adams. And moving on to explain how to call 9. You have some shorting in your audio. I don't know what it is, but you need to figure it out. It sounds like you're using possibly headphones with a shorting. Hey, Scott.
Hey, Frank.
Hey, what's happening?
Not much. How are you?
Not bad at all.
Good, good. Who?
Audio.
Could you give me a brief intro on Miranda Adams? Who? I've never heard of her.
Well, it's not an assumed name, but it's partially an assumed name. And she knows a very lot about documentation, such as FOIA requests. And we've had a lot of people interested in doing them. So we'd like to, she's been on before. She's
great.
quite. And we have Karen Stewart on Wednesday and Janet Phelan on Friday.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
How you been, Frank?
Oh, not bad at all.
Good.
Right now, can you give me a sound check? Is this like booming or soft, or what does it sound like?
It sounds a little bit louder than it normally is.
Okay. Is it good loud or bad loud?
It's just fine. Yeah, it's just fine. We can hear you very clearly. So.
Okay, that's good. Okay, I just wanted to pose this quote out there to see who might be able to tell me its author. To conquer a nation, first disarm its citizens.
What did you want us to say?
See if you can tell me the author.
Oh, no, never heard of it.
Adolf Hitler.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's exactly what he did, too. He disarmed all of Germany, and we know the rest.
Can you repeat that again? Quote
Sure.
by him? Sorry, thank you.
Conquer a nation, first disarm its citizens.
Yes. Okay.
And that's what
Thank
they're
you.
trying to do with us, actually.
Yeah.
They're wannabe Nazis, Frank.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
That's one of the first things they did too, was take away the Jewish people's rights, their guns to defend themselves, and that's one of the things you first do to debilitate a group or a society. They can't defend themselves.
Right. And I just wanted to throw in there, anyone who knows Michael Large, could you please send me some information on him? And I'm going to try and get in touch with Kathy Meadows to see if she will get in touch with him. I think I may have a phone number, but I'm not sure.
Hey, Frank, it is a little bit loud. I hear it cracking on it. You might want to just turn it down a little bit because you won't get the static from.
Okay, how's that? A lot better?
Oh, yeah, that's a lot better.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, what I wanted to do was actually put Kathy Meadows and Michael Large together so that she could try and help get him out of this involuntary detainment that he is in. And he is, from what I hear, a veteran, and he has done nothing wrong, as usual.
Hey, Frank.
Hey, how you doing?
All right. Hey, Neil's most recent newsletter has his contact information.
Okay, thanks, Rick.
And also, him being
Hey,
held
Frank.
on a 302 they can only hold him for 5 days, and so his time is probably up by now.
They have to let him go if he's not a threat to himself or anybody else.
Exactly.
Only hold him so long.
I've been locked up twice, Frank. I've been locked up twice. The second time the police showed up and dragged me into the hospital. They did not, the left hand didn't talk to the right hand. The doctor that was in charge of letting me go asked me after the 72-hour hold, he asked me if I wanted to stay there for 2 weeks. And I told him, no, I couldn't. I needed to get out. I had things to do. And I didn't demonstrate I was a threat to myself or anybody else. And he had to let me go. And this is after the police had dropped me off. So.
Wow. I didn't. Go ahead. Hi, Trace.
I'm sorry. Hi, Frank. Hi, guys. I have been thinking about working on my affidavit, but I also was thinking about doing something to help targeted veterans, because that's kind of one of my soft spots is the veterans, the military vets, and I would be if you need me to help in any way with him, I'd be more than happy to in any way. So I'm thinking about starting something with vets that are targeted, because it's a passion of mine with the military. So that's all.
That's great. Hi, Laura Ann. Laura, are you interested in doing an after call tonight? Okay, no comment. All right, Massachusetts Institute of Technology has recently, or actually not recently, this is as of 2016, they have taken for that year $8,184,419 in grants from DARPA, which is Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, in case anybody has forgotten what it stands for. And it was originally $19,270,000. And all this was spread around the country to various facilities. And the work was to be performed in Cambridge, Massachusetts, but it's all brain-related work. And we had a very good law that was passed, the Ellie law, and Trump signed it into law, I believe, yesterday. And it calls for the State Department to establish a mass atrocities task force to help, as well as other federal agencies, to prevent atrocities from happening, and if they do, to assist in responding to their crimes. So that's fantastic. The Ellie law is one I think that we will use. And for those of you, I have a link on that, by the way, I will put in the chat.
Hey, Frank?
Yes.
I participated in a study for people that were hearing voices about in December. It was a 30-day study. I had to buy an Android phone and activate it so I could answer the questions that they hit me with about 5 times a day. I forwarded my notes on my blog to the study people, and they had promised that there was going to be no follow-up and they were going to offer no assistance. It was strictly for study purposes. I got an email back from the girl that had signed me up, and she specifically had thanked me for the notes that I had volunteered, and I gave them all of the information that I had written about electronic harassment. The study was through the University of Washington, Dartmouth, and they're big players as far as psychiatry is concerned, and universities are concerned. I just wanted to mention that because you had mentioned the studies with the MIT.
Okay, now though that was University of
Washington.
and
It was University of Washington and Dartmouth.
oh,
Both schools were doing the study. The girl that I had given the information to went to the University of Washington. So they have everything on electronic harassment. The psychology department does, and they thanked me for it via email.
this is probably, it has something to do with the diplomats, I'm sure. I can't
That
see.
you didn't nobody could hear you. You went in and out.
Okay, this is probably because of our foreign diplomats.
Probably yes.
I would say Kathleen Wernier and the rest of the 26, I believe, diplomats from Cuba.
Yeah. So they wanted to know what was going on. So they put out advertisements for people that were hearing voices. I responded. I bought an Android phone. I knew there was going to be I was going to get nothing out of it. It was just something constructive that I could do, and I could vent. So I forwarded all the information, and they actually wrote me back and specifically thanked me for the notes on the blog.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just trying to get a link in here for a Trey Gowdy video. Okay, that link's in the chat. And he's actually grinding somebody in the government, a new one, if you will. And he seems to be fantastic. It was thought that he might be our attorney. It was recommended a couple of times. I think John Whitehead will probably, more than likely, handle the whole thing. That's just an observation at this point in time. Okay, and for those of you who were not around for Dr. Catherine Horton's evening, I've got 2 meters here that she recommends. They're made by and they can be viewed at her site, which I'll put in the chat, but it's stop007.org. Anything new happening in the community that I should know about? Oh, I guess not.
How you doing, Frank? Hey, Frank.
Hey, how you doing? Is that Kevin?
I'm all right. Yeah, I got that message I sent you, like before Miranda come on, or either after she finished, talking. Can you see if anybody experienced the same thing that I was telling you about for when I be getting hit with this, energy weapons?
Yes, I will surely.
Because it's starting to concern me. I want to know if anybody, get like exactly the same thing that I get. I'm starting to worry about it pretty much.
Why don't you explain it so that everybody can hear it right now? Because I'm not sure whether Miranda is here yet. She might be. But go ahead.
I'm here.
Hi, Miranda.
Hey, how are you?
Very good. Would you like to take the floor?
No, let him go ahead and discuss what he was discussing, and then I'll speak after.
Oh no, I can wait till after, way later on tonight. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm. Okay. Okay. Well, I just was wanted to speak on the Freedom of Information Act request. I had been putting in several Freedom of Information Act requests through Muck Rock. as well as I've been submitting through the links that I receive from the agencies of whom I need to contact. And so anyway, whenever I go on Muck Rock basically will set up the Freedom of Information Act for you. When I first started doing it, I didn't, I just was doing a random Freedom of Information Act, and then I would get responses back from the agencies that they were looking for particular things. I had to be very specific. I was very broad. And as time went on, I had learned that I had to know contract numbers. I had to know the language of whatever documents I'm looking for, or whatever the agency that I'm inquiring about, their language that they use to get the information that I want, that I'm looking for. Recently, I had just found out I Freedom of Information Act I did probably 2 months ago with the Office of Government Affairs and the Illinois Office of Governor, where I inquired about several things, and one of them was a flu shot that was offered at the job site, and which is never offered at the job site. And they sent me a flu shot record with two numbers on it, two contract numbers on it, and the contract numbers, one was typed in and one was written. And I sat on it for a while because I just thought that, okay, well, at least they gave me the flu shot record. And for some reason, within the last 2 weeks, something in me just told me to follow up with the contract on the contract numbers. And so I did a Freedom of Information Act to the state of Illinois Department of Public Health. And I sent it to I didn't go through Muck Rock for that. I went through their private email, with their employment email. And they, the officer for the Department of Public Health in Illinois, sent me an email back stating that both of the contract numbers had nothing to do with flu shot. They were for women's health and breast cancer contract numbers. So basically, the Office of Illinois Governor lied on a official Freedom of Information Act that's made public through Muck Rock about a flu shot record that they gave me in 2016, or late 2015 or early 2016. They lied on public record. So he sent me the email stating what those were and said that he will follow up with me to see what's going on, because I told him I wanted to know the origin of what they gave me, where did it come from, who authorized it, and the manufacturer of whoever or whatever made the shot that they gave me. So I haven't heard back from him for that. But I encourage everybody to do Freedom of Information Act as opposed to putting in reports, because the reports, that's the setup. But the Freedom of Information Act, they can't do nothing to you. They can't do anything to you. You can submit those as many times as you want, and they will continue to make you redo it because you're not stating it a certain way, or you're not specific on what you're looking for. And so before I do it, I go and research whatever I'm looking for, as well as the agency, and I try to put some of the verbiage the language that they use into my Freedom of Information Act. I recently just did one with the CIA again, and I'm waiting to hear back from that. They did send me a confirmation that they did receive it, and I used language that I found from a video that I spoke of last week when I was on, from the Mind of Men, where they were doing the extreme human subject testing for psychiatry. So I took some of the verbiage from that and and put that into the CIA FOIA request that I did. So that's all I basically was just wanted to let everyone know to because I noticed that when I first went back and redid the CIA's Freedom of Information Act, I noticed that they keep count of how many people inquired, how many Freedom of Information Acts were requested regarding the MK Ultra within the year 2017. There were a lot. So there's a lot of stuff happening to so many people with the same thing. So they keep a lot of they're keeping counts of the Freedom of Information Act. And then whenever I do submit something, I always make copies of everything, and give it to certain people. But I suggest that people start doing Freedom of Information Act requests. I specifically would do it through a public online agency like I did with Muck Rock, and I actually got the idea for Muck Rock from Romola D. So,
Okay. They have a specific outline there that we can use?
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. And then you just put in your name and your address, your phone number, whatever it is you're looking for. But they have the outline set up for you, and then you request not to pay any fees. But however, if you should have to, you just will do it at least up to $30. And so they have all that set up for you on the FOIA page. And then I also do a lot of them through FOIA.gov, so that's FOIA.gov. And every federal agency is on there. Some you have to go straight to their site, like the Department of Homeland Security. I have not done theirs yet, but I wanted to research them more before I do it. But Muck Rock lays it all out for you. Also, the FOIA.gov, they do too, but Muck Rock is more thorough. And then I've been doing it. I done did so many now that it just come natural to me now. I know what to put and whatever. It's just a matter of knowing the agency that you're inquiring about, their language, and what you're looking for. I did post a lot, and I can repost it again. Contract numbers. I got targeted that I know of in 2016. They could have been targeting me earlier than that, but I noticed it in 2016, the summer of 2016. So when I go look for contracts, I go to Defense Marketplace. I go to CIA contracts. I go to National Science Foundation. I found a lot on theirs. I go to militaryindustrialcomplex.com. It gives you all the contracts for the military industrial complex from the year 2007 up to 2016. Gives the contract numbers, who the recipients are, who the contractors are, and get them contract numbers, and put them in your FOIA request. And it describes what they are receiving, like a lot of the schools, I believe that here in Illinois, the University of Chicago and the University of Illinois, University of Chicago Medicine, and Northwestern University, as well as Illinois Institute of Technology. They're mentioned on each one of those sites agency sites that I just named with contracts. And I do believe they are responsible for my targeting.
Miranda, which organization did you find you had the most luck with?
Actually, the funny thing is that the one that responds to me quick is the Office of Government Affairs and the CIA. The Department of Defense is a runaround because DARPA gives me a runaround. Department of Defense, I've even Freedom of Information Act the Secretary of Defense.
They have to comply, though. They are.
They have a time frame that they have to comply. Correct. They messed with my Muckrock account where the password that I put in no longer works for Muckrock. So now I got to set up a new Muckrock, but Muckrock still sends me responses from when a agency responds to me. So I am able to go in, but I can't follow back up with the questions, but I just take their email address and their phone numbers from their response, and then I contact them that way because they have gotten in and messed with my password. And so I can't reset my password on Muckrock. But I'm just going to set up a new username and account with them, and just continue doing what I was doing because evidently they want to frustrate me to stop me from doing what I'm doing. But I suggest that everybody, if they can, whatever agency that you're inquiring about, research. Look, the sites that I said, the Defense Marketplace, the militaryindustrialcomplex.com, CIA contracts, the universities. If you go to National Science Foundation, they give you the contract numbers of the schools that's doing the research. Universities Research Association. One thing I'm having difficulty finding is the Freedom of Information officer for the University of Chicago. They meet me with such resistance when I contact them. They are very rude. They don't want to tell me anything, so that leads me to believe that they are part of it.
Can I ask you a quick question? When you're sending out your FOIAs to the NSF and the CIA, are you sending it to your state or at the federal level? Which agency?
I'm sorry?
Your FOIA request that you're sending to, for example, to the CIA, are you sending it to them at your state or at the federal?
I'm sending it at the federal level. I send it direct. I go straight to the CIA site, and
at
they
the
have
federal
it where
level. Okay, thank you.
And they have it where you can submit it electronically.
Okay.
Also the military contractors on that list that I've been talking about since forever has the military. It's a military industrial complex list, and it has the universities, it has the military, it has different DoD agencies, and it has the military contractors. I even FOIA'd the Lockheed Martin, which I'm going to follow back up with because I just found more contracts with them. Boeing has I just found right before I called tonight, has a defense aerospace company under them. And Boeing is in Minnesota, I think. And where they have the spacecraft and unmanned aerial vehicles and all that. So my point is I just suggest that everybody do research them contracts. Because if you got some contract numbers, that's going to make it easy. And as many contract numbers as I find, which I'm going to write, I send them all to myself as well as to other people. I will forward them on each one of them contracts until I get the answer that I want. They cannot do anything to you for doing the Freedom of Information Act. And when I do that, I don't say, "Oh, I'm being targeted" or anything like that. I just tell them I'm inquiring about. And I give them my name. Is my name attached to such and such and whatever, and such county in Illinois? And so that's basically what I do.
Okay, Miranda, could you do us a favor and research Lockheed Martin in Sunnydale, California, I believe, or Sunnyvale?
I have a when I first started doing Freedom of Information Act, I think probably late spring, early summer. Lockheed was one of the first ones that I actually didn't I didn't do the Freedom of Information Act the way I do it now. I found the president's email and I emailed her, which I shouldn't have did it, but she evidently sent it to somebody and they sent me a letter back telling me if I want to look up the federal contracts, in which I could send it to you, Frank. If I want to look up the federal contracts, they gave me the site to go and look up anything. And it has their letterhead on it and everything, and it's signed. But the president of Lockheed, she did send it to whoever their Freedom of Information person is, and they sent that to me.
Oh, so I see every department that you call has their own department that does that.
Probably so. What I do, like for instance, if you go to DARPA, because I thought that all the DoD stuff fell under the same Freedom of Information Officer. No, they all got their own Freedom of Information Public Liaison. And then you can do either the Freedom of Information or the personal request information request. And yeah, so basically they all got their own. Like for DARPA, I noticed that they have been resistant with responding to me, and they want you to be very particular. So I just said that anything I see connected with Illinois under them, which today I did look on the military industrial complex and found contracts under them up until 2016 for Illinois. So I think they all have, for each branch of the agencies, they have their own FOIA officer.
The contracts that you're looking for, Miranda, are they with your name on them, that they are actually applicable to you, or all targeted individuals?
No, when the contracts are regarding contracts that are associated to my state. So because of it being associated with my state, I inquire on my county as well as my name and whatever language that I want to use regarding the contract that I find. So if it's something regarding C4 ISR or something, then I'm going to put that in, but I'm going to look up what that contract said about C4 ISR. And that way, if you speak their language and know them contract numbers, because I think it was DARPA that asked me for contract numbers and stuff, and the more you know, because to me, my idea is always follow the money. When this all started happening to me, I said follow the money. My answer is wherever the money is.
Right.
And so that's why I said that's why I'm giving these sites at whatever year you're targeting started. Like I said, the military industrial complex.com, theirs go back from 2007 to 2016. You can go to Defense Marketplace and you can find contracts going all the way back. You can go to National Science Foundation, and theirs will go far back. It's the CIA. I gotta find. It's so much I didn't found. I gotta find. I found contracts for CIA before, as well as a CIA school that's offered through the University of Illinois here, and the university has contracts under that. So, and then I always throw in the word national security with it too, with any FOIA I do.
Miranda,
Do you have one example that you might be able to read to us, just so we might hear the language that you've been successful with?
Well, I have to go through my emails, and Frank knows I have a lot of stuff because I always send him stuff.
I have no idea.
I know it's a lot. It's a lot.
I know this would help.
Well, basically, it's basically the setup. If you go to muckrock.com, and Muckrock will let you do like 5 FOIA requests for $20 to any agency.
I know that last time you were here, you mentioned either that or it was in an email. You mentioned a specific group of buzzwords that you would use, like for an electronic attack or something like that. You had a buzzword for that.
Yeah, you have to look at. That's why I was saying you have to look at the whatever contracts you're looking at. Like I said, for let me pull one up. Like today, I was in the military industrial complex, and they were, and it was a DARPA contract for the Millennium Space System, and it's from December 1st of 2015. And in this, they talk about, and it's in El Segundo, California. And, you know, they talk about dark fiber. They talk about where the work will be completed. I'm trying to pull it up.
Yeah, FOIA requests, because they do answer you and they're required to answer you, are an excellent piece of paperwork to have in your file.
Exactly. And the fact that I said to do it, to request either on FOIA, which is FOIA.gov, or on Muckrock or some similar site that's similar to Muckrock, but I've only used Muckrock. And I use the FOIA.gov. They are public. They there forever. So therefore, any response they give me is online forever. No matter if they mess with my electronics or not, it's there.
Have you had any success with the FBI?
I have not done theirs yet because you got to go to their site to do theirs as well. So I haven't had a chance to do theirs yet. I did the Air Force. I did the Air Force Research Lab, the Naval Research Lab, Air Force Space Command. I have not received an answer back for those as of yet. I did Vandenberg Air Force Base because those satellites are all around me. And Western Test Range, which is Vandenberg, I did those. And the lady that I spoke with, the Freedom of Information Officer, you know, she was nice enough to tell me how to do FOIA requests.
Really?
Mhm.
What's the average turnaround time from
Really?
the time you send it in until the time you get it returned?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
What's the average turnaround time?
Really?
Caller 35. We don't need that.
It can be it can take up to 20 days. I know that.
Okay. Well, that roughs it in.
Mhm. Yeah, but it's a lot, like I said, but because I'm so I I just believe in, we can do a generic Freedom of Information Act, and they're not going to give you the answer that you want. So even though I have to keep doing stuff over and over and stuff, I will keep digging it until I get the answer that I want. And so I choose to research looking for numbers and contracts.
I have a question, Miranda. If you
Mhm.
send it in and they want something changed, are you still charged for it if you do it again, or?
No, DARPA has been really a stickler. Like if they will send me something back through Muckrock, and they tell me that they are not uh that my question is too broad or whatever like that, and I respond back, then they'll say something like, they have told me that I need to do a new FOIA request. So my answer to them is I'm not going to pay another uh um $4 to do the FOIA request. I'm just going to send you a certified mail, but I want to get enough information before I do it, because they they are they're very particular. DARPA is about what you're requesting. They want to know exactly what it is you are requesting. Names or contract number. Any one of the agencies had asked me for contract numbers. So that's why I make it a stickler to be looking for contract numbers, and I send the contract numbers to myself to that way when I send my Freedom of Information Act, I can add those numbers in. The one I just did with the CIA, I put contract numbers in it, and then I put the universities and the hospitals here in Illinois. So I'm praying that I get a response back. We'll see, but I'm praying I get something helpful back.
And where has your research taken you down the rabbit hole in terms of you found out something new? I know I see new things all the time in your work.
Yeah. The more I look at that list I have, which is the Illinois Smart State list, it's the military industrial complex list. The names, the institutions, the hospitals, the universities, the contractors, they all are clumped together. The national laboratories that's on that list, all of them are clumped together. And once I started researching some of the companies that's on that list, like recently I found that when I suggested the Minor Men documentary for everybody to watch, in that documentary they state 80 universities involved in the psychological human subject testing. On that Illinois Smart State list, there are 80 universities on that list. On the Universities Research Association website, there are 80 to 90 universities on that list. They are also on the National Science Foundation. They also have the contracts under the military and CIA as well.
Yeah, and it's widely known, I'm sure you've run into it, that these programs are taught at the university. Like
Mm-hmm.
Georgia Tech is one of the first ones that I was aware of.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't curriculum.
And yeah, in Massachusetts, like I said, that video, it tells it. I encourage everybody to watch that video. It names the different institutions that are big into all this psychological experimentation stuff. It names the military industrial complex, which is that list I have. Massachusetts is big. So that's why I kept suggesting that, you guys watch it. That's why I suggested that it be posted. Um, all the when I watch the MK Ultra documentaries that I find, and as well as the video, The Mind of Men, um, every that they named, the universities, the hospitals, everything, the um, and
We're losing you a little bit, Miranda.
hello.
Hi, we're losing you just a little bit.
Hmm. And the more and more I get to researching that list, like I said today, I just found out that Boeing, which is on the list, is has the agency under them called the Millennium Space System. I didn't know that. And they do the unmanned aerial system. And Boeing, the president of Boeing, is also part of the University of Illinois. Um, she received an award recently in 2018 from them. So, the Illinois, that's
Okay, Miranda, I think we have almost lost you altogether. Are you still there?
Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah, every time you speak, it seems to be muffled.
Mhm. Yeah. So yeah, that it just takes you down, like you say, a rabbit hole each time and stuff. And then I've always been a stickler for facts and research, and I would, like, even on my lunch breaks at work, I would sit up and I do my research. And like I said, if you know what you're looking for, um, it could be several things that could be under it, but I know with in my home, the the voices come from my walls. Um, in my car, it comes from the antenna, the roof of the antenna of my car. They have the airplanes flying over me as I'm out and about, and the drones and the satellites. Um, so it's something with communications. So I try to look up electronic stuff when I'm looking up these contracts. I noticed that today when I was researching, I looked up. It wasn't Northrop Grumman. It was gosh, I can't think of it. It was it wasn't Raytheon. It wasn't Lockheed. It was General Dynamics. They do a lot of the electronic C4 C4ISR stuff for the military industrial complex. And so I took and made copies of all the contracts that they have for that.
Yeah, there are many people in Connecticut who feel that they are targeted by General Dynamics, in particular around the Electric Boat Division.
Yeah, because
Hi, excuse me. Did you say CSI4R? Is that what you said?
C4ISR,
Yes. What is that?
intelligence, surveillance, and what's the R for, Frank? It's computer, it's command control. Oh my gosh, what is it?
I got it. I looked it up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And control,
Mhm.
communications, computer, intelligence,
Yeah.
surveillance, and reconnaissance. All right.
And
Cool.
reconnaissance. Yeah, that's it.
So,
General Dynamics
so I've been looking.
has a
Yeah. Sorry.
yeah,
Go ahead.
General Dynamics has a lot of contracts for that.
Yeah, everybody thought that. I remember back in the 90s, I think, that everybody thought that General Dynamics was just in Quincy, Massachusetts. And boy, were we wrong.
Mhm. Oh yeah. Um. Oh, and the I didn't realize how big that list was until they just started coming at me more and more and more. And it seems like the more I'm finding, they keep doing and stuff. But like I said, they are a joke to me. And but I know my targeting is military related. It's regarding that military industrial list. And the the universities here in Illinois as well as the hospital, University of Chicago. Then we got the two national laboratories that's on that list, which is Argonne National Laboratory. They're doing the Brain Initiative, and they are also instructors at the University of Chicago, which is also doing the Brain Initiative, um, and Fermilab. So, and it's just that list. I didn't realize how big that list was until the more and more I dug into what was going on. The names on the list kept coming up in stuff that I was finding. And I said, so this list is very important, and I didn't sent that list to so many people.
Yes, President Obama had no idea what he was doing when he created this brain initiative.
Mhm.
It opened the door for DARPA and everyone else to just dive in.
Mhm.
What seemingly an innocent program for, we'll say, a brain operation, or we'll say a state hospital, turns into a nightmare program for us.
Right, and then the investigators in charge of the grants that they receive, along with their team, they take it to the extreme. They take it to the extreme. If you watch that video, that documentary is 4 hours long. The Minds of Men, you will see what I'm talking about. The extremes. They do not care about our livelihood. They want to be God. They want to be God, and they don't care how much we lose. Um, whether we lose our life, family, friends, whatever, they want to be God.
Yes, you are working, and that's fantastic that you are through the government shutdown.
Hmm.
And I know I have spoken with people who think that this government shutdown is the beginning of something much bigger. What are your opinions or views on that?
I don't
Yes,
know.
I do. I hope you're right, Frank. I hope it's the beginning of the end, including what these rogue agencies are doing to us.
Yeah. Well, I really don't know. I don't know because I just feel I've never been a political person. Um, I I just never have been because I just feel like they're gonna do what they want to do regardless. Um, but I just really don't know what because even before this happened to me, this was happening to other people, and it's been going on too long. And so I don't know what to think. I mean, some people say, well, maybe it's a good thing. Maybe it's a good thing for us TIs. Um, I don't know. I really don't know because I mean, I'm not a political person, but when I see what is going on in Washington, I'm not a Trump supporter. I wasn't an Obama supporter or anything. I'm not. I just don't get into politics. And I actually sat up here and pray that they don't try nothing with
Donald Trump. I
Yeah,
don't agree with a lot of stuff he does, but I just don't. The same way they did the Kennedys, I'm praying that they don't mess with that man because he's shaking things up there.
I guess he is. In fact, he is making John Kennedy's shakeup look like a costume party because really digging people out and canning one after another. And he has his own security that is watching the other security, from what I understand. And his security, I mean Trump Corporation, that guarded him from whenever they started, but I know he has his own too.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Frank.
Yes, sir.
She can finish. Go ahead.
No, I was watching TV today, and well, I guess I wasn't really watching it, but I caught on one of those shows that come on TV, and they were talking about there are celebrities trying to open up, petition to open up the investigation of the files of things that happened with the Kennedy's death and Martin Luther King's death, and they want to open it, get it opened back up and investigate it because they feel like it was some foul play and that it wasn't investigated right, and basically that they were targeted. So they were talking about that on TV today. I caught some of it and stuff, but I didn't really get the whole gist of it. But I guess a bunch of celebrities are trying to get the government to look back and do a up-to-date investigation on the deaths of Martin and both Kennedys and other people.
I've been reading different articles about the real reason behind the shutdown. And they're all saying that Trump is battling the deep state, and the members of the deep state are permanently entrenched in the government and high government offices. And that's why he's shutting down the government.
Okay, so
that's interesting. That's interesting. It's interesting. It could not be true, or maybe multiple points of information that bring that to light. But that's an interesting take on it. Yeah.
I think it has credibility because he's also battling the Federal Reserve.
Oh, boy. Okay, the Federal Reserve, if he's battling that, he's entrenched against half the world, or at least half the U.S., because there is nothing federal about the Federal Reserve. They're about as federal as Federal Express.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're another rogue agency.
Exactly. An agency that's not an agency. They are not hired. I mean, they are hired by the government, or actually they weren't. The deal was passed, I believe, on Devil's Island on a Sunday by 3 or 4 congressmen. Am I correct, Rick? I have to check my history major here.
I'm not sure. I didn't dig that deep.
Yeah, the income tax for the United States was passed and was never, what's the word I'm looking for? I can't think of it. I hate that when they step on your head. They think Go ahead.
No, do you have any idea of who put you in the program?
Yes, I do. Private people, two of them. One's name is Mike Pierce. The other one's name is Richie, aka Robert Levine, and
Mhm.
both resided in Whitman, Massachusetts, as I did. And
And
my daughter was verbally and almost physically attacked, and she called me on the cell phone. I come out, and Mr. Pierce was inebriated and started throwing punches around. So I threw 3 or 4 back, and that was it.
mhm. Now, when I was before they removed me from my job, I remember my administrator kept talking about she knew um a person with a high security position. And then um I remember one of my bullying coworkers, well, they attempted to bully me, but they didn't. Um, walked behind me and asked me, was I feeling spooked? And she had such a grin on her face and kept saying, "Oh, the tables have turned." That's what she said to me. So basically, because I was quiet and didn't speak a lot, and I didn't think much of her, um, she was happy that people were turning against me for no reason. But she asked me, was I feeling spooked twice? And I know it had something to do with the job, with the administrators, with them putting me in the program through um, contacts they had with the state. But it all happened when let me see. No, actually, I just learned recently that I thought that the contract with the state and the DOD started in 2016. They went public with it in 2016. It began with the University of Illinois and the military industrial complex in 2014. When I went to the UI Labs website, it started in 2014. They went public with it in 2016. So that the girl was very happy that people were coming against me at the job for no reason. But I believe, I know that I was put in the program because they wrote up the false I couldn't do my job, the false they falsified the evaluations and everything. The armed guard at the job, when they removed me from the job, they put 3 armed guards there, even though I wasn't at the work site anymore for 6 months. They put 3 armed guards there to set it up good, to make it look like I was armed and dangerous and mentally ill. And in the video, The Mind of Man, it discusses that. So every little program that they set you up for is mentioned in that video. That's why I keep saying go and watch that video, because it would tell you. When I got to hour 2, they talked about making it look like the psychiatrists would go so deep, and they did it for the military and for the CIA, where they made people they deemed them armed, a threat, and mentally ill, for the purpose of the research. And I said, when I saw it, I said, this is the program. This is the program that they put me in, and they kept referring to MK Ultra Sub Project 119 throughout the video. So I put that in my CIA FOIA request as well. They called the threat, potential threat. They see you as a threat or a potential threat to national security, and mentally ill. I forgot the words that they used, but I wrote it down and I put it in my freedom. I'm sorry.
You're counter-terrorist.
No,
Where,
no.
can I,
They
can I
use
ask you, Amanda, where are you from?
Illinois.
Okay. So that's
hmm
where all this happened too. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. And so they I put the phrase that they used in the video in what I sent to the CIA. And I specifically mentioned sub project 119. And when it got to hour 2 and they explained that program is everything that they did to me when they attacked me at my job.
What specific video are you referring to now?
The minds of men.
The Minds of Men? Oh, okay. Thank you.
hmm It's very informative. It's long. It took me probably like 3 days to watch it because I was taking notes as I watched it because it's good. It will open your mind up to a lot, and then every university, every hospital, all through that video, Frank, it names Massachusetts, MIT, Massachusetts General Hospital, Massachusetts Clinic, University of Illinois, University of Chicago, Cornell. It names all these different universities and hospitals and the psychiatrists and the different military bases that are doing this research. So I know they didn't they may reinvent it the way that they doing the stuff, but they still going back to that. So that's what I put in that Freedom of Information Act.
I have a document that you may be interested in. Back in 1974, the psychiatric community funded research on V2K. And in 1975, they published it in a medical journal. So when you go to a psychiatrist or you're forcibly held without your will, just say back in 1974, you supported this V2K, you funded it, and now you won't even recognize it. So these are things that have to be brought up. That one medical journal is like worth its weight in gold.
Mm-hmm.
I can
Because
say,
you are very smart. That's very smart. You're right. Actually, that should be printed for everybody.
yeah, I can make up a small version of this, and you can fold it up and put it in your wallet, and you can pull it out, and it shows both a little bit of the medical journal and part of the newspaper article.
Mm-hmm. A lot of that stuff you can find in the APA journals. You can go to the medical journals. I go to a lot of stuff I look up on the Federation of American Scientists website. You can find a lot of things. Like I found the DARPA, everywhere. I don't know how it works for everybody, but I know everywhere I go, the drones follow me in every movement I move. If I'm walking outside to the garbage dumpster, if I'm driving, the drones are following it. So I found DARPA's N3, where they can either ship you or not, and the drones follow you no matter where you go. They're tracking you. The shot that they gave me, that they lied and said was a flu shot on the Muck Rock record, they said they gave two numbers that said that it was flu shot and put that it was a flu shot, and that is an official record, public record now. So when the Illinois public health FOIA officer told me those were not flu shots and they don't have a record of me of a flu shot, and said that those were breast cancer and women's health contract numbers that they put on there, that tells me, and that's I can take the state of Illinois to court based on that for lying. But I want to know exactly what they put in my arm, and I want to know who was responsible for it.
Hey, can I ask you something?
Mhm.
Have you ever heard of Project Hello?
No, I haven't.
So Project Hello was a operation undertaken by the U.S. Air Force, and its stated goal was to put, and I'm quoting here, psychologically devastating voices into people's heads. The reason that I know about it is because it was FOIA'd by a journalist, Sharon Weinberger, back in 2004, and she wrote one line in an article about it, which she referenced quite recently. So there's a project, you can look it up, Project Hello. It's actually part of Project Hello Goodbye Goodnight, where Project Hello is the study to put voices into people's heads using microwaves. Goodbye is to have a deterrent active denial system, and Goodnight is to kill them with the microwave. So I was wondering if you were able to FOIA anything about Project Hello from the U.S. Air Force, or if you would be interested in doing that.
I would have to do my research first before I do it, because I haven't heard of it. But it just sounds like the kill. It sounds like the kill list to me.
I mean, it's the first time, and I've been doing research on this for quite a while, and it's the first time that I saw anything about how the government has studied putting voices into people's heads. And I know Frank may have found other references, as he was saying earlier, but it was the first time that I saw the government studied putting voices into people's heads, like point blank. So it was just interesting, maybe something to look into.
Okay, and it's actually called Project Hello?
Yes, you can look up Project Hello Sharon Weinberger for details.
Okay.
Oh, she's excellent.
She is. She's really great.
Miranda, I have a question. With all the research you've done and you continue to do and you look forward to doing in the future, you're keeping all of these records, I'm sure, very safe. What do you intend to do with them, and how will they help you do what you would like to do with them? Does that make any sense?
What I intend to do with them is find out which one of these agencies, if I'm sure it's a few of them working together from that list, from that Illinois Smart State list. I want to find out who is targeting me and harassing me. I want to find out who, what they put in my arm, and my intent is to hold them accountable. And then all the research I do is because when this started for me, I didn't have no answers whatsoever. So I research, and whatever I find that I think that can help people, I post it and also tell people, because whoever is new to this or who is not new to this and still don't understand it, I want them to know what's going on. I was in the dark. It was going on at least 9 months before I started putting two and two together. And the targeting thing kept coming up. Now that I know what it is, I know it when I see it, but I never knew what the name was. You know, you'll see something like that in the movies, but you didn't know it was called targeting. You didn't know gang stalking and stuff like that. You know, I knew COINTELPRO stuff, but I didn't know the actual terms and all that stuff. So all the stuff I find with manuals that I find with these names and contracts and all that stuff, I purposely put them up so it can help somebody else.
Okay.
I mean, too many people have lost their lives and people lost their families and everything. And it's by the grace of God that I have supported families that believe me and have seen the helicopters following me, have seen airplanes and helicopters flying low everywhere I go. You know, so they believe me. And then people that know me know, you know, as they told me, they know me and they know that couldn't make nothing up like this if I tried.
Miranda, if you dig any deeper, you're going to have missiles after you.
Well, they need to just leave me alone and go on about their business. And I'm not nobody important to them, so why are they messing with me? So,
I know. I was joking.
but yeah, I know, but it's not. Should nobody have to go through this?
That's right. And now you want to have missiles. If Catherine Horton hasn't had missiles, you shouldn't either. Do you have an email address?
You know what? That's very funny.
That
Well, you know what they do? They dip the airplanes and the helicopters. They'll come. They have them flying high up in the clouds, and then as soon as they see me walking, they'll dip them down, and I just stand there and just pull my camera out, and I just tell them come on back or land it or whatever, and then because they'll fly real fast, So I'm like, you doing all that and for what? Because you're not scaring me. So what's the point of it? But it's to split the brain. They want to cause. Another thing that I noticed that video that I keep referencing, the Mind of Men, is that they want to cause anger. They're measuring anger because I was angry, and they want to cause anger. So now I'm like, you know what? They took me from as my adulthood, I've been very laid back and just very quiet, laid back, whatever. But when I was in my youth years, I was a riot. I was hard-headed, and they basically took me back to my youth years. But now I'm like, no, that's what that's what they're measuring. So now I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna let them do that. I'm going to be who I am, and that is I'm usually just quiet, laid back, like to shop, like to dress up, and and stuff like that. So any change. I noticed that with anything that they see me doing, that they were measuring the changes. Now that I'm going back to who I was, that the voices that they because the voices are not coming in my body. The voices are external. I don't know if anybody ever noticed that.
For sure.
Have you, Frank? They have. Yeah, they're external.
External and anywhere and everywhere they can put them.
Mm-hmm.
And they find favorite spots, like in your home, where they sit, we'll say. And they always say to me, oh, we're sitting on a wire in the wall. And they've been saying that for years, so there might be a little truth to that, but I've been through 24-hour plus power failures, and they're still there.
Yeah. On the Illinois Smart State list, in Illinois we have ComEd and Ameren Electrical. Both of those are on the Illinois Smart State list. AT&T is on the Illinois Smart State list. Motorola. So it's the military. For them to do the whole setup is basically that list. They have Ford. They have different car companies. They have different GPS companies, medical, biomedical companies, chemical, defense, aerospace. The list is basically the whole targeting setup.
I worked for Abbott Laboratories out there. I don't know if you live there, but they're like 4 or 5 zip codes long, and that's when my target started. My target started after I had a surgery, but I'm sure somehow, some way, I got thrown in this whistleblowing case, blah, blah. But I would never, it's also tough because I'm part of that Obama mind control initiation thing. But I guess with just different universities, and I know he didn't know what he was doing when he signed that contract. I mean,
yeah, but they could tell him anything.
Yeah.
And he'll sign. The people he got coming to him for giving him the information, and he like a lot of them, they're gonna sign off on
it. Right, and he has millions of these things to sign, probably in a month or so, whatever, how many hundreds. But I wonder, if there's any way to go. Did you ever find your name or your social security number listed on any of these contracts?
No, the contracts I find don't will not have our names on it. They'll have the contract numbers for whatever. Like I found some for the Air Force base here. The Air Force bases here in Illinois, and the Army bases and stuff like that. So it'd be contract numbers for those for places in Illinois or for the hospitals or the universities. So when I say I find the contracts, I find contracts for those in, if it's coming from National Science Foundation, it'll tell you what, each of them will tell you what they're looking for with the contracts. So whenever I inquire, I'll ask them, are the contracts, the work for the contracts being conducted in the county that I'm in? And then I'll give them my name. And then I give them my old address that they forced me to move from, as well as this address, as well as my work site. Because I said these part of your research. Because whatever they're documenting, because they follow me at work, they follow me to my mom, to my friends, to my sisters, to the supermarket, to my home. They forced me out of my other home, and so therefore these destinations got to be logged. I know they do. So I ask for electronic, handwritten, all types of formats of documents that I can think of. Emails, all of it.
It sounds like they want you to complain to the authorities so they can Baker Act you.
Right, and that's why I said I will not go to the authorities. I won't do it because I'm not going to put in the report, and that's how they're going to set you up. And so when you watch that video, please, you all, I know you're tired of me saying it, please watch that video. The Mind of Man. That video will open your eyes up to how they doing this stuff. These people, they destroyed people's lives.
Mm-hmm.
To the extreme in the name of science and notoriety and all that. There were professionals. There was a gentleman that they falsely got him institutionalized. He was a professional with a good job, and they studied on him so much that when he finally was released, he couldn't function. They messed with his brain so much, which is what they're doing to us,
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I thank God, because I with how they are doing this stuff so sneakily, and they're using psychological manipulation. I think about what they're doing, and I just flip it, and I'm like, okay, they want you to run to the police. That's how they gonna get you. I could FOIA them all day to the day I die. You can't do nothing about it. So that's what my goal is. I'm just gonna Freedom of Information Act them until the day I die and get the answers that I want. But as far as a police report, no. If they do anything to me while I'm out in public or whatever, or anything, that's what my video is for. I can show it to other people, but I'm not going to take it to a police officer. I'm a video recorded. I'm not going to put in the police report because that's what they want. My video going to tell it all. So if I ever do get anybody to court, in which I am planning now, within probably the next few weeks, on petitioning the Illinois Supreme Court for what Illinois has done to me. They lied.
Mm-hmm.
And they falsified an official document.
What document did they falsify?
That flu shot record.
Their flu shot record. How did you? I had the same thing happen to me. I had a shot, and then they gave me something that they told me that they didn't give me, and I wrote it all down, but I wasn't as diligent as you because I had a surgery that really messed me up, and mine stems from the surgery more so than the shot. But how did you find out? Did you call the pharmacist, and actually did the pharmacist actually show you the box and give you the code?
No. What I did is I did a Freedom of Information Act on Muckrock, and I did it to the Illinois Office of the Governor, and I asked them on several occasions for different FOIA requests in which they sent me things. I told them I want the record of a flu shot that was given at my job. They sent me the contract, and it had the two sets of contract numbers on it. So that's how I got a record of it. Now, how I know it was fake is I followed up on those contract numbers recently to the Illinois Public Health Freedom of Information Officer, who told me what those contract numbers actually were, and he emailed it to me. So I have an electronic record of it. So
you had the flu shot at your job.
Mhm. And they never give the flu shot at the job. They usually tell us, in which I printed off the flyers that they usually send us staff, where we have to go to Walgreens or to the Department of Public Health for our shots. And I recently learned last month from my administrator that the setup for the flu shot in 2016 was done at the spur of the moment thing. And she said they kept her out of the loop. They didn't tell her why, but they set it up for the flu shot to come to the job, and it has never been offered since.
Wow.
So due to them sending me the contract from the Office of the Governor, which was false, there was a lady named on there named Melissa West. She said she retired in 2015. I contacted her. She said she retired in 2015. She's a nurse. Her signature was on the form, as well as the director of the agency that I work for, and the secretary of staff, and their signatures are on there. So that's what basically that document was false. And so when the public health officer, Freedom of Information Officer, sent me what he sent me, he gave me my case.
Mhm. Was it mandatory that they give you these shots there?
No, it's not mandatory, but it's always offered every year, but never at the job site. The job site when they offered it the year that I got it, was the first time that they did it, and it was a spur of the moment setup.
Yeah. Mhm.
And so what I did, let him know is that I want to know exactly what was in the shot, where it came from, who ordered it, and the names of the people that came to the job. Because I remember the lady's face. She was very stern, wasn't friendly or anything. And, but I don't know her name. And so I told him I want to know the names of the people that came to the job site and gave that shot. So I'm waiting to hear back from that. So, the fact that he did that, he gave me a gift.
Mhm. It's so hard to prove falsified records. I mean, you really did get a gift there.
Mhm.
I mean, I have one set of records from one hospital, and then another set of records from the same hospital on the same date. But the sentences are skewed and paragraphs are different. So somebody changed the record somewhere along the line.
Mhm.
And yeah.
And I told him, I said, you know what? I never, in the email, I told him, I said, I never did a breast cancer or anything breast or any women's health stuff, that's usually for our clients. So why would they put an official and set it up, have it signed as a flu shot record and put breast cancer and women's health on a flu shot record? You're concealing something. And you didn't think I was going to follow up on it.
Very good. Do you think they gave you something else? Like, do you think they gave you any nano or anything?
I believe they gave me some type of nano. When I looked at the University of Illinois and University of Chicago, they have their engineering, computer, and electrical departments that have all of that. They have the nano that they're doing. They have the RF chips and all that stuff that they're doing. So I have all of that I saved because I want to use it for my case.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
And the University of Illinois is the one that's hosted that Smart State list is under.
Miranda.
Mhm.
Yeah. Hey, how you doing? It's Kevin. Can I get your email address again? I misplaced it.
Huh?
I said, it's Kevin. Can I get your email address again? I misplaced it.
Okay. I can give it to you. Actually, you can get it from Frank because I don't want to say it over. Because it'd be people on the line. But you can get it from Frank.
Okay, you heard it, Frank. Frank. Yes, yeah, I'm coffee break. Yeah, you know it.
But I honestly, I promise you all, I wouldn't suggest that that everyone watch that video if it wouldn't. When I watched it and I found it like a week or a week and a half ago, I promise you it opened my eyes up.
I'm gonna watch it. 4 hours.
It's 4 hours. But it took me longer because I was taking notes as I did it because it's that good. And once you learn these scientists and psychiatrists and what they're doing and the different, they had the different articles and books and hospitals and universities that these scientists and psychiatrists are affiliated with. University of Illinois and University of Chicago is mentioned throughout the video. Boston, Massachusetts, MIT, Massachusetts General Hospital, Carnegie Mellon. It's so many of them that's mentioned throughout, and then they show the articles from these scientists and these doctors on this brain stuff. And I was taking snapshots on my phone every time they showed the pictures. That way I can refer back to them and look them up. And it will open your eyes.
Yeah, it's just amazing. I can't imagine if this is getting downloaded into a computer. What you're thinking, what you're thinking. I know I'm in this program because I've even driving. Like, someone will know what I'm thinking 10 seconds before I think it, even sometimes. But I have to be thinking, I say it enough, so I must be thinking it enough. Ow, this hurts. I could never sit there and look at and analyze data where someone is saying, and I know that's why the one guy probably quit. What's his name? This is what it's done to my brain and my memory. I've been diagnosed with atrophy and gray matters disease, and they come back, and don't worry about it. You're probably fine. Don't worry about it. My neurologist is saying, well, if you had cancer, they probably wouldn't want to tell you till the last minute. Like, isn't that nice? And meanwhile, it's getting downloaded into a computer system that somebody has to be looking over.
And, but that's what the video is. The video is talks about how they are doing that, and it talks about how back then they didn't have our up to date computers, but everything was computerized and everything. And but they like for instance with me all through the day. Excuse my language. I'm called a bitch like probably 1,000 times a day or more. And then the more and more I find out and share with people, they call me. They say that bitch is dirty, and so I'll be like, you call me Miss Bitch, and
probably to get your arousal, I would say, wouldn't you?
Huh?
To get an arousal up, probably.
They want a response because they want to measure something. So I just go on about my day because at this point I'm numb to what they're saying because they nobody to me. So I just go on about my day. They want a response because they need a response. That's why I suggest ignore them. Huh?
They need a response to keep their studies going.
Exactly.
Their reason to study.
Oh yeah, all the time. Like I said, I get ready in the morning. I purposely stand naked until like 15 minutes before I have to go warm up the car. Because you want to watch me, go right ahead.
Yeah.
I'm like, whatever. You're not wasting my time because I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to go to work. I'm going to go ahead and do, visit family and friends. I'm going to go ahead and do me. You're not going to, you have no power over me. The fact that you got to play a little game
do you say that or
pathetic.
Do you say it or think it or both?
Excuse me?
Do you say that out loud or think it or both?
Oh, I taunt them. I taunt them because they can say all the rude stuff they want to. I can go very rude. I can be very rude and stuff. So I basically know that letting them know that you don't affect me. But I'll say something rude to them because I know it throws them off.
Yeah. Well, at least you don't have anybody yelling at you in the morning. You're lucky. Do you live by yourself?
I did. I used to. When this first started, that first year, yes, I did. It was all through the night. They said they were trying to keep me up at night. Back then, I didn't know what was going on. They were keeping me up at night. The name calling, all of that stuff. Because they are. This is child's play stuff to me. The fact that you gotta hide and do what you're doing is child's play to me. You're a joke. You're a joke. Therefore, I can't do nothing but ignore you and go on about my day. I can't do nothing but laugh because you got to dip a plane, but you won't land it. And you got to fly it fast. You dip it. You're a joke. So, it's me, tricks are for kids. So, I'm not a kid. You're not dealing with a kid. I work in the psychiatry field. I know how this goes. They can't get me if they try. I want them.
Well,
I want them.
People on the line, Frank, and I'm like, is anyone, when you lay down, even if you have something over your eye, they try to do something where your eyes get like hit, and you put your head down to rest, and it's almost as if, I used to be able to defeat it, but coming back, and they try to like dazzle your eyes, and you have to keep trying different stuff, but at some point, it's like you want to rest so much, and you know that if you fall asleep really fast.
What do you mean by hit?
What I do is, I can tell you what they do to me now. It's, like I said, a 24/7 V2K. Like I said, it's external. They tell me it's a gadget. They got something on my wires. I remember hearing William Benny talk, it was Dr. John Hall.
Yeah.
Saying that it's something that they got on the wires. It comes out through the walls like dirty noise, but it's voices. And it's always, when I'm in the room by myself, or if I'm at, or if somebody is in the room with me, like when I'm at work with my coworkers, we sit in the same room, but she can't hear what they're saying to me, but I can. But it's always coming from above the ceiling or from the computer at work. So I'm like, okay, it's electrical technology stuff.
How are you able to work with that going on? And do they try to?
Because I'm able to work with all that going on because I'm numb to it now.
Yeah.
Believe me when I say I'm numb to it because they playing games. It's games, and it's as they say the game theory. It's games. I can't.
They're trying to guilt trip you into committing suicide. Is what they're trying to do.
Yeah, and they can't, and they want to mess with my work. To say I can't work or anything like that. So if they can mess with me at work, they see they don't affect me at work. I laugh and talk to people at work. I know my stuff at work, and so they can't.
Hi, excuse me. Does anybody else hear feedback on the line? It's really distracting.
Yes, terrible.
What is it?
Feedback? I'm not hearing it, so it's difficult. Who is getting it?
It's a lot of
Kim
feedback.
Hyder's getting it. I'm hearing a lot of feedback, like static.
Me too.
Okay, who else is hearing this?
Yeah, I've heard it.
I heard it before, but it's better now.
I can hear it.
It just went off.
Okay, we might have somebody in here dumping a lot of juice into the call.
Mm-hmm. And
let me mute the phone.
Sorry, that was me, Frank. Sorry, that was me. I was shuffling some things around. Sorry. I'll mute the phone.
Oh, no problem.
Ian, I just
Frank, I got a question.
Yes.
The lady at work who works there, that's tremendous. And, driving is, be careful.
There's an echo coming from you, E.
Oh, what? Me? Coming from me? Hello?
Yeah, it's a very small one, but it's there.
Oh.
Okay, there was a gentleman about to speak.
Yeah, Frank, it's Ab. I just wanted to ask you something. So I work
that was
today.
probably me. Or okay, never mind. Go ahead.
My phone, and then just get the floor for a minute. I work. It's very bad. I work with so many employees, and the harassment is too much. Would you bring it up to HR? Or would you not even bring it up? Because I don't want to be seen delusional in any way.
No, don't
bring it. At the same time, I want to make money.
Don't bring it up with HR. You're going to have to wait it out, because if you bring it up with HR, you'll be out of a job the next day.
Yeah, and they're going to send you to have a psych eval.
I'm at work right now, and I deal with it every night. And you just got to deal with it. It's just humans, The electronic harassment is far worse than these low-level perps are doing to you at work. So just brush it off.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I agree with him. Yeah, you just got to deal with it, because you need money to survive. And if you even let on to anyone, it'll be around that workplace in about 30 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
They all know what's going on. So when I look at them, it's like they know it, but they can't say
They're
it.
scared.
When you look at someone, you can tell.
Yeah, and that's how they did me at the job. It was so many of them that knew. It was people that told me to ignore anything being said about me. And I never knew at that time what they was talking about. But they would tell me that out of the blue. And I was like, what are you talking about? Because I never paid attention to anything that anybody said about me. And now that I look back on it, this is what they was talking about. But they were scared to say it. It was 6 people that were willing to come forward previously when this stuff happened to me, and then they got scared. Then there was another one that told me that if she found another job away from the agency that we're under, she said she'll tell me everything, but she's scared for her livelihood. That's what she told me. She's now working with me on the side that I'm on now, and still plays like she doesn't know anything. Her story is different now, and but she won't tell me anything. And then I had another coworker that told me what they did to me was wrong, and she said they shouldn't have done that, and that it was planned. And then when I went back to her to ask her who is they and ask my questions, she played like she didn't know anything. So she got scared. A lot of them are the ones that were that knew stuff and were part of it transferred to different departments. So they transferred out of the office that I was in. So, but I know that it's the governor. I know that military industrial complex, and those universities and hospitals are all part of it.
Funny how it takes all of them for one of us.
Mhm.
Yeah. Hey, I got a few ideas on how to possibly stop VTK or how to at least deter it some. And one thing I do is I record the transmissions with microphone amplifier on an Android phone, and I use a voice recorder plugged to the auxiliary cable on it. It works really well. It's a free app for Android phone. It's called Microphone Amplifier. And if you plug that thing in and put headphones in your ears, you will be able to hear them a lot better and also record them. But you need to record them with an auxiliary device, or they'll go in and hack your phone and delete your recordings.
The thing is
they
you're
really,
going to be the only one that can hear that playback. No one else is going to hear that transmission.
I don't think so. I mean, you might have a point, but I don't think so. Also, they really hate being exposed. They're afraid of that. These are war crimes. Also, I think that we could build a device with a similar microphone amplifier to record things that are under certain decibels. And it's also my opinion that these are radio waves that are resonating sounds in objects around you, causing the sound to resonate in objects around you. Yeah. And I noticed that one thing that really does it well is electric motors, like a blower motor for an air conditioner, a blower motor in your car that blows for the vents, seems to resonate these sounds very well. Let's see. There's a few other notes I got here. I also think that we need to develop a questionnaire for all victims of V2K so that we can record it in a database so that we can record all similarities that everybody has. The similarities are going to be key to discovering how to defeat this and prove that it's happening. Let's see. And I need some other people to try to record it to see if they can record it as well to try to prove my theory about the sound being resonated in objects around them.
No, see, the sound is resonated in objects around you through microwaves and electromagnetic pulses, but the thing is it's tuned to your particular frequency. Anything you end up recording is going to be for you only. Anyone else is not going to be able to hear it.
I'd like to dispute that because a sound is a sound. Now, if that particular tape recorder was on the same closed circuit, we'll say, I agree with you. But that tape recorder is a separate unit. So if there is sound and it picks it up and it records it, everyone will hear it.
That's my experience. Some of my recordings are not very clear. There's a lot of background noise in some of them. I do have some clear ones. And I want to send some to Frank and see if he can clear them up. He said he has the possibility that he might be able to do that. I haven't played a lot for anybody because everybody tells me I'm crazy anytime I bring any of this up.
Can you play one right now on the show? Can you do that?
Not one. I don't have one ready right offhand that would be where you could hear it. But I will try to work on that and see if I can get one for like next for Wednesday night or something.
Yeah, you can take the output of the recorder, which is probably 3.5 millimeter, and plug it into the input or the mic input of your computer, and therefore hear it.
I could do that with my cell phone also.
Okay.
But I really need to review them because I've got so many. Some of them are just nothing. There's nothing on there. There's hours and hours and hours of this stuff because sometimes I just turn it on and let it record. And I don't delete any of it because I go back sometimes and I find things that I didn't know was on there. Like I'm pretty sure I got a recording of them breaking in the house. Different things like that.
Okay, they might not want to hear some of mine.
But yeah, you know, if other people could try to do that, it would be great to know that other people can record it.
May I ask what is the name of the app again, please?
Microphone amplifier app.
Okay, and it's in the Play Store?
Make another one, huh?
It's a free app for Android.
Oh.
Yeah, I believe it's under Google Play. Yeah.
Okay.
And it works really
I have
well.
a question. Has there been any professionals, or do you all think that there's a way that we can talk to maybe university professionals and the electrical engineering and computer departments to see maybe like we're doing research on this military electronic stuff that can and then maybe take them an article on say like the V2K PDF or whatever, and see what they have to say about it and how something like that could be done, or maybe former military people, or you know, how do you all think? What do you all think about contacting people in the field from universities and hospitals?
I think it's a good idea.
We're not stating that we're affected by it, but we can act like we're interested in doing a story or research on something.
Right.
Because even when I went to the university's hospitals, University of Chicago and Illinois, I was looking at research initiatives that they have going. And I know that the University of Chicago and Argonne National Laboratory and Fermilab National Laboratory are doing the Brain Initiative. And so I wanted to find out, I was thinking like maybe I should play it off like I'm a student doing research on something pertaining to our targeting with this electronic harassment stuff, with the microwaves, with
right.
the you know, all that. So I mean,
I've actually had other people on like one occasion hear V2K that was in the same room with me. I actually had another person hear it with me one time, and they were like, "What was that?" And I said, "That's what I've been telling you about."
That happened when it first started with me. My sister heard voices come out of my purse. I had my phone in my purse, and I went to my mom's house, and my sister heard a voice come from my purse, and she heard exactly what I heard, but she hasn't heard it since.
Yeah, because we're so sensitized to it that other people don't even pay it attention. You know, it's such a low volume most of the time. At least it is with me.
Yeah.
And, you know, another idea I had also is that we need to come up with another name for a charitable organization. Call it Victims Justice for Victims of Gang Violence, something like that. Make it a charitable organization where we can collect donations to support our cause. It can be a code name like that so that nobody knows it's targeted individuals. It's victims of gang violence, which is what we are. Therefore, we can collect donations. It'll be tax-free, we can start a trust fund and have some funds to fight this with. I
And
think
that's
that
a
would be
good
a great
idea.
thing.
Mhm.
Because then we've got a charitable organization. We can ask for donations from anybody. And there's going to
I
be some
agree.
people out there who have family members who have been victims of gang violence, who have money, and they will donate.
I have a proposition. How about victims of environmental and body hacking, biohacking?
Well,
You don't want
I
to say
think it
that.
really needs to be not so.
Not so scientific, because a lot of
Yeah,
people
it
don't
needs
know
to
about
sound right. Yeah, it needs to be more straightforward, like victims of gang-related crimes or something like that.
That's right.
Because that's going to be more widespread. It's going to be a lot more
Organized
people.
crime.
Yeah, or organized crime, victims of organized crime, stuff like that. Because you're going to get a lot wider spread of people that's been affected by that sort of thing. If you narrow it down to victims of electronic whatever, then it's going to be just people like us. And a lot of us are destitute and broke because of our situation, because of what we've been through.
All the wages lost and salaries that we would have had, and advances in our careers, vehicles, friendships.
So is there like a Frank? Maybe you know this. Is there, because they're selecting so many professional and educated people doing this too. Now it seems like a bunch, or that they're selecting for this. Why? Do you have any idea why they're doing that, or some type of sub project program, or where they're picking us from?
Where they're picking us from? Well,
Yeah,
I think
because a lot of us had good jobs,
exactly.
educated. I don't know.
Well, it doesn't appear that they're picking. Well,
I think it's just because we're a threat in
Yeah.
some form or fashion.
We have a longer ways to go down, and we're developed, and we would have a sense of loss that someone else might not have, and our brains might be. We might be not necessarily, but we might be more educated or have certain things, which our capabilities would make us good. I don't want to use the word targets for, but
Because there were in my office, there were people with doctorate degrees.
They do.
Yeah, that, and I only, there were a lot of us with graduate degrees, but there were some with doctorate degrees. So it, the fact that I had a degree, but I'm thinking it's because I was single, quiet, and a female.
You mean that you were affected by this, or that
because whoever got the contract, with whatever agency they got the contract with, they needed somebody to fit their profile. I fit their profile. I was single, quiet, and a female.
Well, the thing is, I know a lot of single quiet females. They don't have to go through this.
I'd like to interject something. Females are, when they get together, they hug each other, they'll kiss each other, and hold hands. A whole bunch of them walking down to a lake or something like that. And when this little group of friends that's huggy kissy like all women are, and you got to admit it, is broken up, a woman feels even more isolated than a man does. Care to comment?
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, I do. I agree. When they had all the women in my office,
Yeah, I used to want to hang out with, I guess, the men because I thought I would learn more. Well, sounds sexist, but um, I usually would be in work situations with men, and I don't know. I I found their company okay, but except when they would try to cross that line, and then I became really disenchanted with the whole thing, and I decided I wanted to work with children and get away from that because I thought I really misevaluated working like technical and that whole
When this started for me, I remember when I first started getting to V2K after I ended up moving from the house I was in, the apartment I was in, and I remember when I came to the place I'm in now, like I said, my weight had dropped down to like 130. That's because they drugged me. I had vertigo real bad. My hair fell out, my skin got dark. So they did something to me. And then I was shaking a lot, and my mom and friends and my family would see me where I couldn't walk in a straight line. I was driving with my daughter, my kids in my car, and they would have to they would tell me that I would be zigzagging. So they drugged me.
Were you getting ringing in your ears then? Do you recall?
My ringing in the ear didn't start until probably the spring of this year of 2018.
Well, I am so sorry about, I'm so sorry you had to go. I'm so sorry.
They went very hard on me. But I in the core of my being, I know it's the universities and hospitals here.
Can I ask a question?
Oh, okay, wait a minute. Before I get this out, the office is made primarily of females. I never was cliquish with a bunch of females. There were a few in the office that we did our fitness and exercises together, and was never a part of the office politics and stuff. They out of all, I remember before the targeting happened with me, they started with the workplace mobbing, and they the administrator selected what she called her special group. She kept saying her special group with a grin on her face. The special groups. Now I'm thinking about special groups. So she selected a special group whose voices was used for the V2K.
Oh.
Their voices were used for the V2K. I took those people to court because at that time I didn't know what I know now. But they would walk past me, but the V2K would be going, and it'd be throughout the whole shift, just threats and taunts and negative remarks and everything and stuff. But their mouths wouldn't be moving.
Were you in line for someone's job or something, or
nothing? I'm thinking the only thing that I think of, even back to this day, is that the state of Illinois got some type of contract under that military-industrial complex. They needed a test subject. They selected me because believe me when I say I am nobody of importance like that. I did not do anything or anything. So that's the only thing I could think of.
But they sure don't have the right to try to study organizational behavior and induce conflict and dismay.
They did so because they got permission to. The governor, and the regional director, they got permission high up to come into work and act like they were bullying, because they'll walk past me in their groups and stand, but the V2K was going. The one girl who voice they still use to this day, but I know it ain't her, would go throughout the office and skip over me, but go to everybody else's cubicle, people she always hated and everything. And be showing them a letter and whisper and then look over at me suspiciously and stuff like that. That's because they told her to do it. I had exercise equipment in my cubicle that when I took it home, it would be the stuff would be in my room, and at night they put stuff on my exercise equipment that would glow at night.
Oh my God.
And yeah, so they did a lot of stuff to me. I know it's the universities. I know it's the hospitals. I believe to the core of my being. And they were the people that were part of the group bullying were able to come to work and only do 2 or 3, 4 cases, and were able to get away with it and not get a write up or anything. So they got permission to do it from high up. So what I'm saying is, it wasn't nothing special about me. I was just selected as a test subject for their grant.
Do you think when you signed your contract for employment that that there was something in there, a clause where you?
No. I'm very technical. No, yeah. There isn't.
No. So you would have you would have a lawsuit or against them.
I have a lawsuit. That's the messed up part. If you're going to do all that deviousness and stuff like that, according to them, because of this program, they evidently did it on other people as well, because they always saying this bitch different, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Is that when they were watching me, they didn't anticipate. They thought the person that they was watching is what they were going to get.
Yeah.
The person that they were watching was the older me in my relaxed years. The person that they're getting now is the younger me before I grew up. The person that they get now is the fighter.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the fighter is going to take them down. And so that's what they're dealing with now. But they went very hard on me. I even did a Freedom of Information Act for the armed forces facility we have here in this town. And I did get a response back from them that told me I asked them about the air flight that's coming in and out. And they sent me a letter with the air flight, the names of the air flight that are coming in and out for the military here. But the Illinois National Guard is under the state of Illinois.
Mm-hmm.
Those helicopters and everything are coming from there.
Well, that's work, and I commend you for doing all that and doing it while you still can,
And when I even left, they when they forced me off the job with the administrative leave, they put the armed guards there, and then they spread the rumor saying I came on the job with a gun.
Oh no.
Yes, they did. And when if you come on a state or federal job with a gun, you automatically arrested, and you will not get your job back. I got my job back. I didn't even have to fight a gun thing to get my job back. I had to fight a psych eval because they didn't want to accept 2 psychiatrists psych evals. They wanted to fight it. And they couldn't. And then when I came back to the job, I switched to a different office where we see the customers all the time. We see that we deal with the public, and there was no armed guards there. But they had armed guards on the side where we didn't see the public.
Well,
so I got a case. I have an excellent case.
That was, yeah. That what a.
And then they placed a office point bulletin stating that we have an armed guard on site for me. And luckily there are people that know me at the job that gave me the email that was sent to everybody. And I have it. That's for the case. So, it's they basically hung themselves. They didn't expect to deal with this. the person that they thought they was dealing with was a quiet, reserved person. They thought that they was gonna break down.
Mhm. I think so. Yeah. Well, you proved them wrong.
And I strongly encourage everybody to do Freedom of Information Act. Honestly, the CIA, they do respond back when I do. I'm waiting on them to respond to the latest one I did. I still haven't gotten like my answers from them the way I want to, but I'm gonna keep doing it. But I encourage the Freedom of Information Act. My fight for the Freedom of Information Act now, I want to deal mainly with DARPA, the NSA, and and the University of Chicago and University of Chicago Medicine. I recently just did Argonne National Laboratory, and I queried them on their Freedom of Information Act for the brain initiative that they're doing, which they have the supercomputing, the quantum physics and all that, the propulsion and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And so I did the FOIA on them last week, and I'm just going to keep doing it. And because when I called the University of Chicago last week, the legal affairs person that I talked to, she was very rude from the onset of my name. So word is getting around that I'm FOIA in all of them.
Yeah.
And she was very, 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 very rude for no reason. I told her, I just want the name of who I need to refer my Freedom of Information Act to, like that. And she was like, why? What do you need to know like that? And I was like, ma'am, I just want the name of the of where I need to send it. And she was very rude, didn't want to give it to me. I didn't need to tell you anything else, And if you are the Freedom of Information Officer, tell me where I can find it online, because that's where it should be. Because I'm not just going to send it to you. And so, I didn't. But what she messed up at is before I called her back, she left a voicemail on my phone. And I'm going to play that when I take them to court, because I know that they are involved. University of Chicago has different departments in their School of Medicine for psychiatry and behavior, where they're doing research. And I found those as well.
It's unconstitutional to invade our very, very very, very innermost privacy like that, and our external privacy.
And the bad thing is that the people that know, and I told the one lady that I work with now, I said, if it was you and they did to you what they are doing to me, you will want me to help you. And I don't care how much money and threats that they do. I cannot sit by and let people harm somebody.
Yeah, if you had a daughter or a son or a mother that was going through something like what you can gather this is, would you care? And would you want to do something? And
Yeah.
And that sometimes.
And I'm just gonna
older than you are, I think, and I lived on the East Coast in New York State. And while I was still working, I wish that was back before all of this was coming out a lot. And, I didn't know. I had just found maybe one organization, and I was just starting to link up with them. But they would, I had all sorts of things that ringing in the ear, and these diagnoses I was getting, and I was working, and I was driving home, and the tinnitus got very loud. And I knew they were on me. They were doing this stuff to me at work, and there was a radio station playing, and they would, use that to. They knew everything I was doing, and I was getting oil and gas prices and things, confidential information. they were, you know, I didn't realize the extent. I didn't know what to do about it. But I mean, I would, you know, I would do what I could, put it that way. But I got in a minor car accident, and then that was right around, and it was because of the, you know, the tinnitus and the returning break into my head, and I kept turning the radio up, and a minor car accident, and then just before that, I was told I and some others would be let go, and that was right around when General Motors and the car companies, you know, right around when Mr. Obama was about to take the presidency and the so-called Great Recession. So I didn't have much work after that, and when I did, when I was at my computer doing evaluating children's exams nationally, I called the police chief, and I just want to say, folks, that when I got to by the time I got to my work they did something to my head, and within 20 seconds, I felt like I had to run to the bathroom, and I just made it, and I would have flooded my pants, you know. And they've been doing things like that on and off since then, ever since then. And, you know, it is such a challenge. And so don't get to that point where you know, you do the best you can, because once they get you out of the employment arena, and then you get back in, they don't want you in it. They don't want you in it, and they will do stuff to get you out of it. And what, you know, I'm not gonna, I mean, I won't go into detail, but no, I'm not gonna go in there wearing some type of diaper and, you know, forget it, you know. No, and I'm not gonna, you know, but can you imagine, like, you know, they will try to demonstrate, you know, they can make you flood your pants like in 30 seconds if they get the right operator on there or doesn't like you. And you know, that's unspeakable things. And catch it. If you can do that, you get it done, because you know, you'll be saving yourself, and you might set the way for others too. And thank you for letting me speak.
Yeah.
Yeah, I live in a relatively small town, and people don't know. They have no idea, you know, about this stuff. So anyway, thanks, and I'll be listening.
Hey,
I
Miranda.
know that a lot of the universities that are on that video, they mentioned University of Chicago, University of Illinois, University of Michigan, Cornell, MIT, the hospitals, the different hospitals. They a lot of the universities are there are a lot of cars from each of those universities, University of Texas, all over here right by me. And they everywhere I go when I'm in traffic as well.
Wow, Cornell, huh? Albany University might be in it.
Yep,
too.
that's on there too. Yep, it is.
Is it?
I sent that list to Frank. You know, if he could post it. Yeah. All of them are working together. It's under the Universities Research Association. They're all doing contracts with all these federal government agencies. And they mentioned throughout that video as well. There are 80 universities, 80 to 90 universities. In the video, they say it's 80. On the Illinois Smart State list, there's a total of 80. But on the Universities Research Association website, there are 90. They are all on that Illinois Smart State list. And when I back during the summertime, I got on my computer. I had a new iPhone. I was getting ready to download up. No, I had to download the previous save that I had did so that I can get it on the new phone. And I went to iTunes, and as soon as I opened up iTunes, it said Government of California on it, and then it hurried up and disappeared because it knew I was about to take a snapshot of it.
Wow.
So California which is mentioned throughout that video as well, and it's all on the Illinois Smart State List, different universities in California. Berkeley, Santa Barbara, San Francisco, Los Angeles, UCLA. It's different ones on that list and mentioned in that video.
University of Buffalo.
I'm sorry?
University of Buffalo.
It's on there. I'm going to put the list again on the Targeted Massachusetts website.
Oh, thank you. Because I personally, I just have my phone and my computer is going to be repaired. So I can't see it right now. But that would be great.
I have posted that that information so many times to so many people because I want people to see that everything I'm telling them is true based off of that list that was brought by my governor to the state of Illinois, and that's when my targeting started.
Well, very good. Thank you.
I have. It's okay. Hello?
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay. Hi, my name is Christina. I've only been on Frank's calls maybe 2, 3, 4 times. So there's a lot of chemicals that they're using on, my personal belongings. And we had thought that maybe we could bring these, like clothing and stuff to find out exactly what they're using. So maybe we could have this crap reversed, Will any universities try to help you maybe figure out, what exactly they're using, how to reverse it? Are the university in any shape or form helping people out like us?
I don't know. That's a question. Maybe Frank know. I don't know. That's why I said I asked the question earlier. I said, what if we go to different hospitals and universities and like we're doing research or whatever, and just to see what these people know and what information they can give us to help us, or maybe find some veteran or someone that can probably give us some information and stuff like that, because we need to find people in these fields.
Like even if they know anything about the Clipper chip. The Clipper chip is what is one of the chips that they're using on us, because I read up on that. Now, let's see. The thing that I'm trying to do right now is I'm putting together a U.S. nationwide TI meetings to put these together to bring more ideas in so that we can finally get to the Supreme Court and get these weapons banned, okay? Now, I've been at TI 11 years, going on 12, and I thought that if everybody pitched in their little bit and bring their TI friends in, especially the ones that are afraid to come forward, if we could get a goal of getting 100,000 people together nationwide, we could have a pretty good case. But that would have to be that there'd be 2 meetings a month with the existing TIs that we know, and their TI friends.
What I was thinking is, just how they got the Me Too movement started and other hashtag movements going. We really all got to be diligent on getting one started for our targeting.
Right now, I'm working along with Earl. Do you know Earl from Chicago?
Mhm.
Okay. Well, we spoke last night, and there's going to be another thing going. I think he said April the 27th. That's not a confirmed date yet, but where we're standing at next is to start getting affidavits signed and remarks on the affidavit that, stating like what has happened, how long you've been a TI, and, to show, because when it does come to the big day, when we do get into the Supreme Court, not everybody is going to be able to be there, but at least we'll have the affidavit signed. What I'm trying to do while Earl is doing that is trying to get everybody to pitch in a little bit, do 2-hour meetings twice a month, and have those people bring in other TIs. We'll do advertisement, do some meetup programs where those people could bring in some ideas and in comments and how, put all the reports together and take what is the most important and to bring us to that, so that by July, there won't be no problem at all being in the Supreme Court to get the Supreme Court to pay for us to get unshipped, to find out, what has been done to us. Like, I've had 3 heart attacks. I almost died on my last one. That was in October. And this is BS, and we shouldn't have to go through this. But if we get the Supreme Court to send us to some kind of medical facilities in our state or in our cities, then that way we could get these things removed and prove our point. If you get 100,000 people together, they no longer could say, "Oh, we're all psychologically sick." You know what I mean? So if anybody's in,
state Supreme Court or the federal? The federal?
Yes, federal. Yes.
They're
Yes.
stacked right now, kind of, a little bit conservatively, but it could go.
In our case, it would not work at no civil type of, it wouldn't get us anywhere. We have to go federal because, as example, we went to Texas, we got harassed there. Put it this way, it doesn't matter where you go, you're going to be harassed everywhere because we're on some nationwide and worldwide list. It doesn't matter if you leave the United States. You're still going to be harassed wherever you go.
Just because of the space stuff that they have.
Because basically what's going on here is that when they put us on this list, it's worldwide. They get us on this watch list. It's just like if there was a terrorist warning on somebody that came from the Mideast. Okay, they're not just going to be, put on a watch list in one area. They're going to be worldwide. That's what they put us on. And this is why we all need to get together and I'm doing my part. I also became a corporation under Citizens Justice. That's the name of my organization. And together, if we do it all together, everybody that's in their nearby city, because some people are in small town, your nearest big city, is that you pull these meetings together. So the more the more information that we could put together, the better the case and the better way that we're gonna win our case and get this crap out of us. And the reason people are having they murdered my mother 2 years ago. It's just crazy, and it hurts so bad. It's almost like you want to blame yourself because you got put on it. So they decide to put your whole family, your friends on it, So that's what we got to do. And we've lost some good friends here in the TI community, like, for example, Elvira, she's one, and then there's several more, And if Richard Kane won his case, then we could do it with 50 to 100,000 people
He
saying,
didn't.
"Hey,
He
this
didn't
has
win.
got
Yes.
done."
It was
You
settled.
know.
It was settled out of court.
Mhm.
Did not win.
Well, that might be a possibility too. Is that they might say, "Hey, you know, if you keep quiet, we will give you this." But no, we cannot just settle for that. We got to settle for them to pay for art and bring us to the facilities that will get these chips out of us and compensation. Me, I could go without the money. Just give me back my life. That's how I look at it. You know.
Yeah.
I'd tell them, keep it. I want this done. You know.
I want this done, and
Yeah,
we
that's
also,
how I feel.
and we want these electronic weapons banned from the United States land. Those weapons were brought out and meant to be for if there was a terrorist attack, okay, and for overseas, okay, not for our own people, but of course, like Obama said, we're all going to be on the watch. Okay, fine, put us on the watch, but don't take our freedom away and don't take our rights away, you know.
Right.
And
Don't hack us.
don't put chips in our body and kill us, you know. So that's where we're at now. And if anybody's interested to share a couple hours twice a month, I would like to give you my email address, and you know, we could go into more detail at that point. If does somebody have something to write down with? I'll give you my email address. And this is for everybody. Anybody that wants to participate a couple hours, in, you know, any day of the week, twice a month, and then put together, you know, some kind of ideas and comments so that when we do go to the Supreme Court, we will be ready. Okay? Okay, so anyways, my email address is cmack9988@gmail.com.
Will you repeat that one more time, please?
Sure, cmack9988@gmail.com. And there's a few goals at this. We need to get 50 to 100,000 people in an affidavit. Also, the goal is to get these weapons banned once and for all, forever, off the United States land, and that this in the future, that this doesn't happen to our children, our grandchildren, and whoever has done this to us, that they are completely fired, suspended, and will never be able to get a security job in their life.
Well said. Well said. Yes.
Yeah. Because security is important. Security means our lives. Okay? Everybody's life. This isn't just about me. This is about you, me, everybody. Somebody in Indiana, somebody in Michigan, somebody somewhere else. This is about everybody. You don't mess with my life, and you don't belong in my. If you don't like what the rules are in our country, then leave it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that's what my meetings will be put together for, as well as there will be other planning, as well as signing affidavits, you know, saying who you are, how this started, how long you've been a TI, and any important documentation that you could copy so that it's sent to the right person. There's going to be captains and there's going to be captain juniors. The captain juniors will report to the captains. Earl right now is putting some really good things together that's going to involve all of us. Okay? and we want to make sure that everybody in each state, nearby cities, will give a couple hours, commit to it too. Couple hours twice a month. It's not a lot to ask for if we're getting our lives back and our freedom. So I really hope that I hear from one of you, because me and Earl are trying to put this together. I know California is a big populated state that's very well targeted, because I was living there 2 years, and I know exactly what goes on there. Texas is highly targeted. Minnesota.
What do you think Dr. Shibata's bill there to outlaw? Would that get it to stop, or would it not be enough?
What we're aiming at, and what the goal is, to have this all stop, and that anybody that has been under this jurisdiction, I don't care if it was 1970, if they committed treason, they're out the door.
Yeah.
And so their pension is no longer going to be available to them. Oh, well, too bad. But how many people did they murder? They murdered my mother. And I imagine how many people we talk on here. How many people have told us that their friends and their families been murdered under these programs? Bullshit. That's bullshit. So if we're going to do something, let's stop talking about it and let's do it. So all I'm asking, and Earl, is the people they're really interested in getting this stopped and having these people banned from any security job ever. We ask you to want to join in, again, 2 hours a night, twice a month. And you just email me what your availability is, what state you're in, and if you have any evidence that you could move forward with. I mean, everybody could whatever evidence you have, every little bit helps, including if you've gone to a doctor. I have evidence of chemical burns on my arms and my hands and my legs. Pictures of that, okay, and pictures of battery acid put around my car, okay. Now, anything like you've gone to a doctor and he would not treat you and he gave you some excuse, whatever, anything like that, a hospital, an emergency room, or a doctor. If you have anything like that, it's very important information.
Christina, I don't mean to interrupt you, but Miranda will probably not be with us too much longer this evening. So I'd like to give the floor back to her. And we usually run 5 or 10 minutes with our presentations.
Yeah, I've only been on here like maybe 4 times, and I apologize, but I know the importance is what I'm talking about. Everybody wants the same thing, and I apologize for taking up anybody's time. Okay, yeah, but
very good information.
You're Frank, right?
That's correct.
Okay, Frank, you got my email now, right?
I think so.
Okay, CMAC, MACK 9988 @gmail.com. And I mean, if you could forward that we're putting this together, and if anybody's interested in putting a little time in.
Okay. If you just send an email to me at
I don't have your email address,
Frank at targetedmassachusetts.com.
Hold on. Let me get the. Oh my gosh. I don't have a pen available right now. I'm terrible. Okay, what is it? I'll try to remember it.
Okay, it's Frank at targetedmassachusetts.org.
Okay, Frank at Massachusetts.org.
No, targeted.
Oh, wait.
Targetedmassachusetts.org.
Okay, targeted Massachusetts.org. Oh, wait, here. You know what? I actually just looked up. I got to find. Go ahead again.
Okay. Frank, Frank, at targeted, which you know how to spell, Massachusetts, Massachusetts.org.
Okay. .org. Okay. And then this way, I can email you. I'll leave you my phone number, and we can go forward from there. And on the room, I apologize. I just want to give everybody details so that everybody knows, gets the updates as much as possible. Okay, I'll be listening. Thank you, everybody.
Okay, thank you very much, Christina.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Miranda, you once again have the floor.
No, I didn't want to interrupt her or nothing like that. I just wanted to again say thank you for everything. And as I mentioned, I just wanted to speak on a FOIA request, and I just suggest that people start doing freedom of information requests to whatever agencies, and go to Muckrock. Muckrock sets it all up for you.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Or you can go to foia.gov, and it'll ask what agency you're looking for. Then they'll give you a list and give you the Freedom of Information officer's name, the address, the phone number, and then it'll set it up for you too, and you can do it electronically that way too. But I like doing Muckrock because it stays online forever. So whatever response they give you, it'll be online forever.
And they have to respond to you.
Mm-hmm.
Even if they have to respond to you, even if it's to tell you that, okay, this isn't acceptable, you have to do it again.
Mm-hmm.
Well, once again, you get a response. So this is all good paperwork for your foundation. Now, apparently, Mr. Michael Large he's an Air Force veteran, first of all, living in Pennsylvania. He met with his congressman to discuss directed energy weapons, and soon thereafter, he was broken in by police. They arrested him on a 302, which is psych evaluation in Pennsylvania.
Oh, my God.
And they used everything in the private conversation between him and his congressman against him. So this is a very unjust. I can't even come up with a word. I mean, you're supposed to be able to sit down with your congressman and discuss things that are going on in your state. That's a violation right there of the Constitution. I'll tell you that. Freedom of speech.
Freedom of speech. Yep.
Actually, in private.
Okay, Frank. Before because I have to do overtime again this week. Before I get off, I'm looking at what I was talking about earlier. They so I guess a bunch of people, along with celebrities, are doing a request to reinvestigate the assassinations of both Kennedys and Martin Luther King, due to the investigations that were done on them. They feel like were never properly investigated.
So it has a large amount of I guess celebrities rallying behind it because they feel like it was more to it. The investigation of each of the assassinations of Martin Luther King and the Kennedys. So I don't know if you probably want to look that up.
Right. I just
because they were targeted, so and assassinated. So
yeah, I'm looking at Mr. Trump and I'm getting worried because he's really digging into things. But what I wanted to say is Richard Lighthouse has been doing extensive research, and he claims that in each country there is an overt organization, and they come under the heading of, oh, they're standing on my head. Oh, God. I hate that. I can't think of it.
Happens all the time.
Intellectual something. I can't think of it. You're screwed now. Okay. Anybody else like to comment?
No.
I have a curiosity question.
Go right ahead.
With the V2K, I'm curious. I have the tinnitus, and I guess I'm anticipating. I don't know if it's correct. Do the voices from wherever they come from? Is that what I am to expect?
The voices will be coming from one or two people, and one of them or both of them will have a number of synthetic voices. The voices will not be there in your head. They will always be on the outside. So it's not like you're hearing voices in your head. You won't. They're on the outside, usually close enough to aggravate you. And at night, sometimes in your pillow. If you go to get something to eat, they can put the voice in the fridge.
So is it a given that will happen to me?
No, it's not. Some people don't get V2K. They do get harassed and hurt, but they don't have V2K because they get all subliminal. And they've been brought up gradually that you don't notice them. I can see them, feel them, and touch them, these feelings, these thoughts. They do have a plus and a minus button, if you will, or a yes and a no button, and that's what they use to try and trick you. You feel it. It's a positive response, or you feel it. It's like a cloud almost. It's pretty creepy.
Is it, Frank, just one question here. And I mean it, one question. Sometimes I could feel like there's something right next to me or right around me, surrounding me. Is that part of the attack?
Yes. They can feel a number of different things, and they can make you feel self-conscious. Now, that's one of their favorite things to do, is to make you feel self-conscious.
Right.
They can draw attention to everything, the way you are walking. Oh, boy, you're walking funny today. Or they'll make all kinds of comments like that. And say, oh, everybody's looking at you. But, just say, well, you're not.
Well, I've learned in my, going on 12 years is the one thing we need to show them is don't be afraid of me. If you're not afraid of yourself, then there's no damn way you should be afraid of them because you don't know them. They're not worth nothing to us. So it's just an add-on I put. Don't fear. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Don't fear forever for all the Christians. Don't fear because God is here. Okay? Yeah. Okay.
Oh, and that word I was looking for was counterintelligence. Research counterintelligence. This is from Richard Lighthouse. He has got a lot of information. If you see that keyword come up, follow it. That's the big rabbit hole. And he does extensive research. So, give it a try.
So were you saying earlier that each state has an organization that is called counterintelligence?
Richard says it's apparently something that can be controlled very easily from one location. And he also says that only a couple of the employees know what's going on. The rest they are actually targeting terrorists. Yeah. Oh, and I wanted to say, if you think you're on my email list, you're not getting. Hold on a second. Michael. Okay, if you think you're on my email list and you actually aren't getting it, it's probably in your spam folder. So check. If you want to get on the newsletter list, all you have to do is send me an email at frank@targetedmassachusetts.org and put in the subject line newsletter. That's all you have to do. And then just, put your name inside. That's all you have to do. But there are a lot of people that are here tonight, probably, that I'm sending the letter to that are just not getting it. And there's a lot of good information in there. I think those of you who get it will agree. Okay.
Wait, Frank. It is, one more time, frank@targetedmassachusetts.org. Is that correct?
You've got it.
Okay. I will be sending you something, at least my phone number, and if you could pass on the word who might be interested in participating, the sooner we get to that, the sooner that we're gonna get this all stopped, and then, okay.
Yes. You, as soon as you get the newsletter, you'll see the kind of research that members of our organization have done. So I think it's pertinent that you get on that newsletter list. So I'll be looking for an email from you explaining the organization, and then you'll get a newsletter next Sunday, and I will send you last Sunday's as well.
Right. My organization is very new. As I said, and I'll say this quick, I had 3 heart attacks a year from this garbage, and the last one I almost died from. I actually did get it, I did get it incorporated to back myself up, to protect myself, and I couldn't do anything with it because, I'm still recuperating. It's very new, and the thing is, I felt that through all our organizations, we're gonna get there. You know, everybody keep positive. You know, so I'm just getting started. You know, to let you know, I don't have no website yet, but I am working on that. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, thanks, Christina. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. Yeah. I just want to be upfront, honest, and let you know where I'm at with this, which it's new. But the main thing is anybody that wants to come to Chicago, April 27th, there is going to be like another march that Earl is putting together. So I promised him yesterday I would let, you know, everybody know they're more than welcome to come, you know, yeah. And the whole idea of this, doing these meetings, is so not everybody could afford to be traveling, and this way we are doing it in our own town, and we're putting it together in our own town. We don't have to fly, we don't have to drive. We're doing it in our nearby cities. Bottom line, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's very good. I think it's an excellent effort at coordination, and it does just what you said it does. And thank you.
Then all you would have to do is after each meeting report to the main, the main captain, and then the captain juniors are the ones that are going to be putting the meetings together. Also, we're going to need help with maybe some people that are very well known with the computer, and they're like computer programmers. Also, people that would like to be interested in making some phone calls, because there's some agencies out there where you could advertise and it's free to put meetups. And the category, of course, would be organized stalking. Yeah. So I can explain that to all of you at a later date. You know.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'm available 24/7. So. Okay.
Thank you so much, Christina.
You're welcome.
Okay, Frank.
Yes, Miranda.
Yes, I'm going to go ahead and get off. I have to get up early. Thanks again for everything, and I just encourage everybody, please look at that video, The Mind of Men, and it's free on YouTube, and it's 4 hours long, and it explains the psychological part of the program that they have us in. It will really open your eyes up, and I suggest just start doing freedom of information requests.
I'm going to post that video on Targeted Massachusetts, the page, the group, and Twitter.
Would it by any chance be on YouTube also? Because I do a lot of investigating on YouTube.
Yes, it is.
Okay, great. Okay, and that will be under your email, right?
I can send it to you.
I appreciate that. Yes.
Okay, will do.
Yeah.
Okay, and everybody just be safe. Know that this is a psychological program. Don't feed into what they're doing. You know, if they want to fly the plane, let them fly the plane. If they're not going to land it, they're not going to do anything. Let them fly it. If they call you names or whatever, ignore it, whatever. And, it's so that they can get in your head. If they can split your personality, split the brain. The video explains it all. And I was already numb to what they're saying, but I'm really numb to them now, after watching that video.
And I like to just advise too, anybody going into a hospital, a doctor, or whatever, do not discuss that you are under this program, because automatically in some states they are automatically putting you into,
Exactly.
a hospital and a behavior. Just tell them I'm having these pains, blah blah blah. I don't know what they are. I'm just hurting all over. Could I get some tests? Do not explain anything about being targeted, because that will be your next step, even into a mental institution.
Right, and that's the setup. That's the setup. So that's why I said the report to the police, going to the hospital, speaking about targeting and stuff like that. Don't do it.
Right.
It's a setup, and it's part of the program. And so just do as she said. If you have pain, go stating that you're having pain. Don't say where it's coming from. Direct your energy. Don't say anything. Just whatever. Because when they did the shot with me, just be normal. When they did the shot with me, I went and told them a few months ago, when I started putting two and two together, I went to the hospital, said I was having pain where they did the shot at, and I told them I had a shot, and they did an X-ray of it. I got the CD of the X-ray, and I got the printout of the X-ray.
Right.
That's what I wanted. I didn't want to tell them nothing else.
And here's some advice too for me. If you are admitted into a hospital, tell them you'd like to get these X-rays. Once and before you leave that hospital, you go down to the medical records or the radiate, or where they do, all the X-rays, and tell them you want a copy of that CD. That's a real plus. Yeah. This way, and get home or you go to a library, you could look into it and see. I got mine twice in two different hospitals, and I found some chips in me. But the doctor was involved, so he says, "Oh no, if that wasn't there, I'd question it." So basically, So I found out he was involved. In fact, I had bloated up legs, bloated up arms, feet, and if it wasn't of me going to another doctor, I would not be sitting here talking to you all. So just be careful what you tell them, and just get those records. Anytime you're even in an emergency, say, I want a copy of that CD, because I'd like to take a second look at it. That's all. Yeah.
And Miranda, quick question before you leave. What do you think about like if you have like your family member turn against you? Like my spouse, she's pretty much got flipped and she's turned on me completely. And she like working with her sister. I think her sister a handler. Kind of like it is really bad on my end. Like she completely turned against me, completely.
But you know what? One thing I noticed is that, like, even with the people at my job that participated, they do not. I believe wholeheartedly that they were told certain things about me and were paid for it, but they weren't told the extent of what I'm going through. So, on my end with my family, just because these people are so arrogant, this can't be psyops. This can't be special operations, because the way they're doing it is so sloppy. You allowing me to get the videos each time. You allowing me to get the pictures. You're doing it in front of my family members and my coworkers who are now witnesses, and they believe me. And so that's how I know this is the state, based off of money or grant that they receive from whatever agency and stuff. So a lot of times they may get paid to do things like in your situation, but they may don't know the extent of what is going on. But by the grace of God, like I said, because these idiots do what they do and they doing it sloppily, my family is able to see what they're doing. And I've lost some friends, but to me, a true friend that really know me, because there are some that stick by me and haven't even seen the helicopters and everything, but they know me and my personality, and they believe me based off of that. And there are some that I lost that I thought were my friends, but I'm not mad at them because the program is set up to make you look crazy when you're explaining it and stuff. And at that time, I lost them when I didn't know the program. And so, that's the way I look at it. But I just say to people, always get as much evidence as you can. When the people be following me in traffic and stuff, I have that camera. I have my cell phone. I have the 2 cameras. I have a GoPro, and I have a regular digital camera. And I have 2 cell phones on me at the same time. And which I gotta also put my cameras in my car. I have cameras that are for my car. I got to put them back in the car, that way I can get the video of everything. Because the dash cam. So that's the, if you have evidence, because words can say anything, but if I have evidence to back up everything I'm saying, I can win a case. And so that's why I tell people to don't feed into their mess. If they want to fly the airplanes and the helicopters, get them pictures and videos. If they want to fly low, I encourage them to fly low because I want numbers, or I want a face, or I want to get it close enough. I mean,
at the beginning, Miranda, at the beginning, I was doing that. I was videoing. Now I ignore them. I just complete everything they do, even with the flash mob, with them driving the cars with like 100 cars going down the road.
Oh, I do that now.
I just ignore that. I go walk right now, so I just ignore that shit. I don't even let it bother me no more. It used to, but now I just ignore it. It don't.
It don't bother me.
They want you to be videoing them. They want you to do that. They want you to do that.
I'm with them. I want to do it anyway because I want my case. So they can want me to do it all they want to. I want my case. But no, it don't bother me because to me, if you're gonna do something, then do it. So it don't bother me at all. I want my evidence. So if you want to sit up here now, they do little stupid stuff where they'll fly around me, instead of flying directly over me. Except that was maybe 2 weeks ago. They decided they wanted to fly over me because they didn't like that I was taunting them. So, it's just little. To me, they nothing. They don't scare me. It's like I laugh. It's funny. I just go out and about by myself, whatever. I walk. I do whatever, and I'm like, here I am. Come on, whatever. Nothing. It's a little psychological program, and I'm not going to feed into it. But if they fly their stuff, I want my picture. It ain't because of them sensitizing me or anything. I want my evidence. Because even if one of they little people that's following me in traffic, even when they do it, I turn the camera around. I act like I'm taking a selfie, and I snap a picture.
You go, girl. They start following you again. Turn down the side road. You'll know if they actually following you. Then just
I do that, honey.
You follow right behind them.
I'm trained. My background is criminal justice. I'm trained very well. I worked in corrections. I worked in probation. I've done it all.
Yeah, me too.
I'm trained.
I ran an inmate too. I used to do that too.
I know how to.
It's called ending at midnight tonight because I don't feel well. And I will see you Wednesday, and Karen Stewart will be there.
Frank, I got this, Frank.
Okay. All right.
It's Paula.
Hi, Paula.
I got this. Let them go ahead.
No.
Well, I'm going to get ready to go to bed, Paula, but thanks for getting on so late.
I know. I was on another call.
Okay.
I was on another call. Sorry.
No, I'm just messing with you.
All right. I'll let the call run. How's that?
All right. Thank you.
Go ahead, Frank. Yeah, we might want to talk some more. Kevin, I called you today. I talked to Miranda yesterday. Called you today. I've been checking up on
Oh
my
man,
TI buddies.
I didn't even get it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I be checking. I had called Florida. I called Chicago yesterday. Was it Illinois? Yeah, I don't know. I think it's Chicago. She is. I called. I called a lot of people. I've been checking up on my TI friends. How y'all doing?
All right. Just trying to maintain.
Yeah.
Okay, but you know, if Frank wants to take off, you know, I believe Laura has a call on Monday night, so we could go there.
I told him I was gonna stay on. We was gonna stay right here. He said okay.
I heard that. I'm just saying, you know, if he doesn't feel well, and you know,
He don't have to be on the call when we talk. I mean, you know.
Yeah, he said I can stay on. Now was she about to switch it up?
I'm gonna go ahead, Paula. I will talk to you later. Kevin,
Miranda, I'm gonna call you soon. I'll call you over the weekend or something.
Thank you, Miranda. Thank you. I really appreciate that.
Thank you, Miranda.
And everybody stay safe, okay?
Be safe. Be strong.
Okay, you too. God bless you.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
Yeah.
Bye.
Okay, you guys are your own motto here, so be good.
Okay, thank you, Frank.
Enjoy.
Okay.
So, Kevin.
Mm-hmm.
I called you today. Where you was at? You were hanging out with your purse.
Oh,
where you was at, Kevin?
No, I wasn't hanging out no purse. No. Yeah, right. I did.
I gotta break the ice. You know, I gotta break the ice. You know me. I gotta break the ice. Kevin, did you hear my story yet?
No, you know, I've been meaning to do that there because I still have to get on that mind over that men over mind. What is it called?
Oh yeah.
4 hours.
Yeah,
she
just gave me that yesterday. Yeah, she gave me that yesterday. I'm gonna go watch that. I'm gonna watch that this week.
Yeah,
I can't watch it in my house.
They
stop everything. My story's on YouTube, but it's under Migs B. Migs B. You know Migs, don't you?
Yeah. MEEGS B.
B as in boy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was on another call. That lady on the other call was good.
Oh man, who was that?
That nun Carrie. She did a real good call on Derek's call.
Oh,
you can hear the recording when he posted. Yeah, hear the recording when he posted.
Oh, okay.
She went from targeted to free. She went from targeted to free.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, she's not targeted no more?
Not no more, no. She made DVDs. She made DVDs telling the whole story. She said we can go on her website and buy it. I'll text you her website.
Okay, wow. Wow, that's cool. Wow.
Yeah.
That's really good. Man.
Yeah, she sure did.
There's a lot of us trying to get off this, and it's just seeing like it's just like endless. It's not, you know. Once you try to get one hurdle or another one, you know, come up.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Something. Yeah, you try to get over your inside. You take all your supplements and all that stuff. Then they do the outside. They still keep putting pain on your body and spraying you and zapping you and organized stocking you and make banging on the walls and playing music and. They turn up whatever the airplane or air implant or whatever it is they got in me. They turn it up, they turn it down. They turn it up, they turn it down. They don't know what they want to do. They so daggone stupid.
Yeah, it's crazy. Totally.
Yeah, but it's exposure time. This year is a year for change. 2019 is going to be a change.
Yeah, and you know, Trump stopped like all the like people that get like food stamp stuff. Trump stopped that, so you know, I don't know if people know that, but he stopped that. No, I guess it's temporarily until the government open back up.
Yeah, he gave them extra this month. Well, their February's one this past week, because he ain't giving nothing out in February. And then I think he's gonna do box food or something. He talking about doing box food. So many people box food now.
Right, Kevin
Yeah,
and
he
Paula.
said he had to go back on the list.
Hi,
Was
who's
this
this?
Melvin.
how you doing, man?
Hi, Melvin. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm fine.
Yeah. Was you on Renata's yesterday?
I was on there shortly, but I had to run a lot of errands, so I couldn't really hang in.
Oh, okay.
Worried about tomorrow.
What's tomorrow?
In the chat room, I have to have a surgery done on my nose, so supposed to
You have to have
breathe better.
you have to have a surgery on your nose?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. What's wrong with your nose? What's wrong with your nose?
Cricket. I'm only breathing out one side.
Uh-huh.
And they're supposed to go in and try to open the other passageway.
Oh, wow. Ask him, can you be woke?
Oh, no, I don't want to be there at all. I don't want to no kind of pain.
You better pray in the name of Jesus before you go under.
Yeah, I'm going to have some family members I'm have there with me, so I was praying tonight for it.
Hello?
Yeah.
Things kind of like go smoothly.
We're going to have to pray for you.
Oh, man. It's always hard being a target, and that's when they actually put the stuff in you when you.
That's when they put that metal in you, honey. They put that metal in me. I had 2 surgeries, one in 09 and one in 17. They put metal in you, honey. You better watch out, because they'll do it. They put them little objects in you. You're gonna start feeling them afterwards. No time soon. It'll be a while. You'll start feeling that pain. They'll start hitting it. That's what they did to me.
Like somebody that deals with sleep apnea, like that, and including the perpetrator that keep you woke every minute of every second that they can. I just want to try to straighten out this problem, because I've been having it for years.
You know what you can do though too, Melvin. Something I should have did, but I kind of went in, didn't know when I had my surgery. You can actually sign a form saying that you don't want no foreign objects, anything put in you other than what you're getting done.
Yeah.
You need to make sure you do that though, and get a copy of it. Get to one of your family members before surgery. You need to do that.
Like the foreign objects, like as opposed to like different things they need to use to try to fix.
Anything that don't supposed to be in you. That's what I'm saying. So what I mean is you can have that's the grounds for a lawsuit if something get put in you that shouldn't be in you.
Go somewhere after you heal and have an X-ray of that nose. Out of town, wherever. Go in the next town or somewhere.
But you need to fill out this. I mean, you need to get a form. Say that you don't want anything placed in you other than what you need to have, what needs to be put in you. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, they have these forms that you fill out,
Yeah,
and
that's right.
Make sure they get signed. I'm serious. Like,
and no other type of surgery, no other type of incision that they supposed to be doing but what they do. Because sometimes they're supposed to operate on your right leg and they operate on the left leg. They're supposed to operate on your mouth and they operate on your nose. Yeah, they done did a whole bunch of
malpractice. When they put you to sleep, they can easily put a chip anywhere on your body. I mean,
Oh yeah, I'm telling you, they done did it to me.
I told Frank about this procedure. He said that he had it done previously. So I was asking him about it. I think he put in the chat. It was done in 2007 or something. So I don't know if he's still on.
I'm not saying it ain't gonna be bad or nothing, but just because you'll never know that whatever they do is their real secret of his split.
What you're saying to try to protect myself.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just a little scary, like just being a target and going in and out.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Type
Yeah,
of
being
procedure.
a target. Exactly. Being a target is so hard, but you have to get this stuff done, I mean, you only can keep going on for so long until you got to get something done.
Creating a paper trail.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, absolutely.
Let me say something to Christina again. Now, what I have heard is that they actually, one of the chips are called clipper chips, and they do actually, on purpose, of course, put those chips in your nose. So,
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
and
that's what yeah, they do. Yeah.
if you all know Luda's he has a good relationship with her doctor. Her doctor said that he found, I think, over 100 chips in her body. Oh yeah, and even though that we get those chips taken out, we cannot get every chip taken out because we will end up being internally bleed. So the ones that got like in our scalps and stuff, those will have to stay. Yeah.
If you could press down on your head, you could probably feel where your head is sore at. If you press down on your head in certain areas, you might feel where your head is real sore at. Real sore.
Real sensitive, where you could touch a spot and you go, ooh.
Yes.
Yeah, I know. I got it. And, sometimes like the middle of your crown of your head, like right there, and then like the